Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. I'm joined with Gary and Virgil, Maxwell Cornet of the Marshes. Isn't it, John? Isn't that what it is?
That's me, mate. Maxwell Cornet of the Marshes.
He's back. He's had his calf operation. We're hoping he doesn't break a fingernail throughout this show, but I'm sure he'll be. I'm sure he'll be all right. But anyway, John, it's good to have you back, mate. Are you all right?
I'm not. Well, I can't come on every show, Nick. Just because you've turned into Steve Irwin or whatever you think you fucking are now, because you delivered some puppies.
Steve Irwin? No. But yes. So, what we're going to talk about today? So, look, we won a game, and we won away from home. It was in the FA Cup. But yes, look, not the best game in the world. But I kind of prior to that game, I couldn't be asked for the FA Cup. Didn't really care about it, but it was kind of a win that I needed, if that makes sense. I think we all needed it a little bit. Gary was lucky enough to have gone. He had a good day out in West London in a lovely little pub, didn't you? Out in Kew.
Yeah. It was. Well, to be honest, it was a horrible day football wise. It was a crap game, wasn't it? I mean,
Shit game, yeah.
It got a bit better in the second half, but yeah, there's this little pub called 1 over the 8. AIT is spelled.
What's an 8, Gary? Just to clarify.
I got told this. I went with Jim Grant yesterday. He's very, he likes to educate me. Yeah. An 8 is it's a little patch of land, like a little island in the middle of the river.
Yep.
So 1 over the 8, lovely little pub. If ever you go there,
is that like when you get, like down the canal? Is that like when you get a shopping trolley sticking out the middle? Is it the canal?
No, that's an East End 8. That's an East End.
Right.
8.
Okay.
So
okay.
I thought an 8 was a measurement of something.
I know.
Yeah. So it was a lovely little pub. If ever you get a chance to get there, and it was perfect because the trains were crap, and we parked to like the other side of the A4, and the ground is literally just across the A4, and this pub was 5 minutes down the road. So everything was in a little tiny walking distance, and everything was going so well. And then the game kicked off, and then we got the most torrential downpour you've ever seen. And I didn't have a hood with me, and it was freezing this rain. And it just came down for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
it was horrible. But that was the story of the first half. Yeah.
It's like I say, we won't go. There's nothing to analyse from the game. It was a poor game. But what we will analyse is was the goal, the wonder strike. Did you see it, John?
I'm not. I don't agree. I don't agree. It was a wonder strike.
Well, if Fabianski had let that in, I'd have been calling for him to be sort of lined up against the wall for the firing squad. I've got to be honest. It was central, wasn't it?
100%. I mean,
yeah.
But to his credit, when Benrahma came on, he did change the game. In my mind,
did. Yes, yeah.
You know, he was, as we've expected. He was forward thinking. He was dribbling with the ball. He was running with the ball. We changed the game. We changed our formation to some extent. The goal wasn't a wonder goal, but if you don't shoot, you don't score. So,
but what else did he do though? He scored a goal. What else did he do? What did he do? What did he do? Well, David Moyes says, isn't it? What do you do?
Well, the thing is, it was really irritating listening to David Moyes after the game. But basically, what David Moyes did yesterday was, I mean, we were poor,
yeah.
and he took Souček off. I don't know, what was it, 60 odd minutes? He took him off and put Benrahma on. As soon as he did that, the game just changed completely. Yep. And we started going after him, and we were on the front foot. Everything looked so positive once he'd done that. Yeah. But he keeps finding a way to prize Thomas Souček into the team. And his words after the game, David Moyes, I mean, get this. What he said after the game, it's like talking about Benrahma. It was a great goal from Benrahma, wasn't it, David? And he said, well, yeah, it's great to have good people to bring on from the bench.
Ooh, fuck.
It's like, are you seriously saying that? So you're saying he's now an impact player? He's an impact player.
You're reading into that like
John. Everyone knows he doesn't like him. Tell me once when he's giving him a compliment.
I'm not. I agree with you, but let's be honest. He's played a lot of football this season. He's doing really well. We've all said it. But you're suggesting that Moyes, what he's saying is it's good to have that quality to come off the bench. I don't think he'll be on the bench next game. I think Souček will be back on the bench because once again, look, we beat Brentford. They made a lot of changes. We made 4 changes, I think. It was a crap game, and Souček again was diabolical, right?
Rubbish.
Absolutely diabolical, right? Yeah. I'm sick of saying it as well.
Is this a new label? What's this? What is it with pro Moyes? How was that not a brilliant strike? It was a brilliant strike, but it was down the middle. He had to keep around. He had to stick his arm up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. People think I'm slating him. I'm not. It was within It was about a yard away from the keeper. I don't know if he was wrong-footed or he's got stuck in the mud or something. I don't know what happened to him, but
yeah,
it was. Listen, I'm glad he scored. I want him to do that more and more. I want him to be, running with the ball, running at the defenders and all that. But it wasn't a great strike. Let's be honest. It weren't top bins.
No.
So,
they play. It's funny, Brentford. I've never been there before, but they play "Hey Jude" as the song before the team come out, and they start singing that, and that's literally the only time they sing in the whole 90 minutes. But then they played this next song straight after it as the players were coming out. It started playing, duh, 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 duh. And West Ham immediately picked up on that and started singing "Side Benrahma." Right, singing "Side Benrahma" consistently all the way through before the game, through the first half. The Craig Dawson song, it was sung almost consistently through the second half as well, and it's now reverted back. There is no sign of that Super David Moyes song. That's dead. And it's now "We Are West Ham's Claret and Blue Army," not David Moyes' Claret and Blue Army. That's reverted.
David
and at the end, this is something you like. This is something you like at the end. So we stayed because it was really good. Second half at the end, atmosphere of celebration down there. The players were all enjoying themselves at the end. David Moyes comes across and tries to milk some of the celebration and starts giving it all that, like he did in the European games.
Did you high five him?
And a couple of people just said, "Fuck off, Moyes! You didn't even want to put him on the pitch." So it wasn't me, incidentally. It wasn't me.
Well, that's the thing. That's all I could hear way before he came on. You summoned him onto the pitch. And to be honest, right, I'm not being funny. It's a team he used to play for. I just think it's a bit of a dick move. After he didn't start in the league game, why would you not start him in that? It doesn't really make
It's two games
sense.
running. It's 2 games running. He hasn't started. Souček's had 2 starts. There's no reason why Souček would have found himself suddenly back in the team. It ain't like something different's happened. It's not a new Souček. He's literally his only contribution to the game yesterday was missing an absolute sitter.
Oh, did you see him with that? Yeah, where Emerson went down the left, whipped the ball in, and then he looked like a fucking giraffe trying to fold up a deck chair, didn't he? Trying to get the ball out from under his feet.
He did, and that was right in front of us, right? So we could see it was a lovely weighted ball from Paqueta, perfectly weighted, and Emerson ran onto it and didn't even have to break stride. Had time to look up and pick the player, and he picked him out beautifully. Yeah. In fact, had he left it, Bowen was behind him. He could have slotted it home.
Is there an element of the fact that our deliveries have been so consistently shit now for about God knows how long, that when it actually does find someone, the player is taken by surprise?
I think there is slightly that, but I'll tell you what, there were a few changes yesterday. There were a few changes yesterday. Emerson, first of all, there was that I just described, and then he took another set piece in the second half as well, a free kick, and then Declan Rice took a couple of corners, and the first corner was actually a very, very good corner.
Yeah.
So they're obviously trying different things out with the set pieces.
I know.
Anyway,
you wouldn't have known. Did you watch it? Did you watch it on the same stream that everyone else did, John, with the really bad commentary?
No, I watched
the commentators They were awful.
Freddie was on his phone. We didn't have no commentary where we couldn't listen to it. We watched it.
It was so bad. It was a weird channel. No, just stating the obvious for everything. I was almost at that stage where they were saying, if the ball had gone in the back of the net, it would have been a goal. It was just stating the obvious. Like when a corner came in, he's under it. That if he'd have put a bit more on that. If he's over it, he's under egged that one. Oh, thanks for your insight, mate. That's amazing. That's I can't use me fucking eyes, can I? It was bad. I don't know what channel it was, but it was almost as bad as the game, put it that way. And the game was shit. And Brentford didn't create anything in the second half. Like it's almost like because for me, the way I see it, and I mean this, I think that was a game that David Moyes had to be seen to win. But I think
please don't say what you're going to say.
No, I think him and the club, him and Sullivan, with the position that we're in the league. I think that deep down they would have been happy had we lost that. They would have been.
I disagree.
I would have, John, deep down a little bit in the cup in our current situation. I wouldn't have minded to have gone out.
Can I talk? Can I just finish?
Yeah, go on, John.
Well, listen. I can't handle you this evening, I tell you. Listen to what I'm saying, right? We didn't make wholesale changes. We made 4 changes, right?
Got a new button.
You think you're Pete Tong now, you muppet. Right. What I'm saying is this. He didn't make wholesale changes. He made 4 changes, right? He made only 4 changes. Because when you ain't won in 5 or 6 games, a win's a win. And you hope you win to create momentum, right? So that win was much needed, more not for the FA Cup win to win the FA Cup, but more so to try and get a bit of confidence back in the team. Now it doesn't matter who we played against or what team they put out. It was about winning for me to get the club or to get the players a bit of confidence back. That's all it is.
I agree. Look, it's all about.
Agree, you just played a siren and a horn and tried to play like a DJ.
It's all about momentum. Momentum.
Momentum.
It actually is. It is. We didn't. You know, we are. Yes. But that being said, what do you think is going to? Obviously, we're going to have to look ahead to the game at the weekend because the FA Cup was irrelevant, guys. It's not irrelevant for the team, as John said. It helps us get momentum. It's going to help him for the weekend. But if he'd have lost that, he wouldn't have got the sack. If he won it, it hasn't kept him safe. The big one is the Wolves game at the weekend. We're currently sitting on 15 points from 18 games. Pellegrini got sacked on 19 points from 19 points from 19 games. If he loses that game, what I've been told is that he has to win it. A draw won't even be enough. Yeah. A draw won't even be enough. Apparently, that is it. He's got to win it.
I think that's right. Just one more comment, and this wasn't from me. This
is the first time I've actually been told that is going to be the case as well.
This is a comment from Jim on the way out the ground. Just so you know, Jim's not the sort of he doesn't usually shoot from the hip sort of thing. You know, he thinks about things. He said that he felt Brentford just conceded the game. But words to that effect. They didn't want it. They didn't want it like we wanted it. You know, they weren't as up for it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the case, and you could tell that by 7 changes made to their starting lineup.
But do you not think it's interesting that a team like Brentford, right? They're playing really well. They're doing well in the league. Why are they making such an amount of changes for an FA Cup that you know 6 Premier League teams have already fallen away? Yeah. It's a cup that they could possibly go quite far in. I see it as a little bit like, where do you think you're going to finish in the league? I mean,
it don't make sense to me, John. It don't make sense to me.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I mean, I would have fancied Brentford if Brentford would have beat us. Could have gone
for them because look, like you say, they're not going to get in the top 7 at all.
Well, they might.
I don't think so. I think they're safe. Yeah. They're going to get enough wins. They're a solid team. They're going to grind out results. But like you're saying, fuck me, you would imagine go for a cup. I mean, that was such a weak team they put out. Really, I mean, it was poor, and you think I weren't expecting that. Same as I weren't expecting us to go so strong.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there thinking, please, Aguero, don't get injured. Please, so-and-so don't get injured.
Well, let's take some positives. Aguero was a huge positive.
He was good.
He looks really, he looks like the real deal, Aguero.
Yeah.
And yesterday, how unsuccessful we've been playing a back 5, right? Or a back 3. Well, I think this is the first time we've played a back 3 with 3 centre-halves.
Right.
3 proper centre-halves.
Yeah, 3 proper centre-halves. And we looked, I mean, Dawson's too slow, as Eastside's saying. Yeah, of course he is. And so is Oggy. But I think the 3 of them, as being natural centre-halves, didn't give Brentford too many opportunities. 1 or 2 half chances. That was about it.
Yeah, they didn't create a lot, but I mean, someone said it in a chat earlier. That was predominantly their Championship side,
Yeah.
Have you heard the audio from the fan after this game that had a little selfie with Saeed Benrahma? I had a chat with him, and somebody was recording in the background. They said to him, "Is it true? What do you think about Moyes?" And his response, "I think Moyes is a bitch." That's what he said. That's the actual sound file.
An exclusive, yeah.
That's an exclusive, yeah. Let's play it once more.
You heard it here first.
I think Moyes is a bitch.
Yeah. So it's confirmed. It's confirmed.
It's been a bit harsh there, isn't he?
Yeah, I think there's a bit harsh from Benny. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, he tells it how it is.
We'll have to look at the legalities of that, Nick, because you could find yourself in the dock, mate. Especially with terrible French accents like that.
Yeah,
I think he talked French. I think he talked French. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds more like Jose
I was
Mourinho.
Some sort of Arabic.
I wasn't going to do that, was I?
Jose Mourinho. I think who was it?
Fucking hell, gets shut down on YouTube, right? But yes, look, as John said,
Danny, I'm playing FIFA.
Oh fuck me, I'm turning it off now. That was involuntary.
Jared Bowen.
That was Jared Bowen. But yeah, no. So look, we have got to take positives out of it. There were positives. I think Declan Rice has also. This is a positive as well.
Yeah.
Declan Rice has his position has been reverted back. He's now he's shielding the back four again.
He is, and he did that the previous game as well. So that's
shielding the
clearly
back
where
four.
he's going now. Also, let's special mention Declan Rice for the double tackle that's set up by Benrahma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you know this is the thing about stats I wanted to highlight, right? That Clark, that was a tackle. He just won the ball. It's classed as an assist.
Clean.
It's
Yeah.
classed as an assist, though. He
Yeah,
did
it is. Last person to
Yeah, but I
touch the
think
ball,
that is. Yeah, but that is one of the best assists you can do. He won the ball.
He
Brilliant
didn't
tackle.
pass it
What
to
a
him
tackle!
purposely.
What a
It
tackle,
wasn't
though.
great. Oh no, it was a
What
great
a tackle.
It was a great tackle from Declan Rice, who doesn't deserve to be captain. He's not good enough for the club anymore and wants to leave.
He
But
was fantastic yesterday.
he was good.
He looked really happy. You know, when he was taking the corners, and it was over by our fans in the corner there, and started singing his name, the sort of Declan Rice song, and he had like a big smile all over his face. So it was nice to see that, you know.
Yeah.
This
It
is
was.
interesting.
It was.
Just quickly, because I heard this on can't remember I heard this, but someone said that last week the Chelsea board and Potter had a bit of a meeting, because obviously I think they're languishing in 10th now, and as props and cosplay says here, I think the rumours are that they are, as the club are sort of starting to lose faith in Potter. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous.
They'd be
because
mad. They've got 8 players injured.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous if it's true, because at the end of the day, you know, this is a total new sort of type of job for him from where he's been, and you can't bring someone like Potter in and expect it to happen overnight. I think they've got to have patience with him, but if he does get the sack, then obviously a lot of people calling for him to come to West Ham, which
Yes.
I would have him all day long.
no, of course.
Twice on Tuesday.
I can't see Chelsea would do that, but
They've just been rubbed
Yeah.
again by Man City today in the FA Cup, right? 4-0.
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
The first
that's
half,
bad.
the first half was embarrassing.
I must admit, I can't watch. I'm struggling. This is the thing. What's happened with me this year, because I've tried to stop myself getting so wound up by watching other teams play football. I've made a conscious effort to stop doing it. I generally watch any football all day long, but when I watch us and then I watch other teams, I just get more annoyed.
You can't watch us alongside Man City, can you?
No, anyone, any other team in the Premier League, apart from Spurs. I don't feel jealous of them because they play shit football and all. John McCarthy asked me just a little bit further back, where is that from? My source. I can't say who that is. Karen Brady's bikini waxer, but yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Top secret.
That's it. Apparently, she shouted out involuntarily with a.
Probably
but,
would have been a hairy moment when she told you. Oh, here we go. Look, I knew this was going to start coming up. Look, Sonny Perkins scored for Leeds. Now,
He did.
David, I know he did, but I'm not going to. Me and Nick have had a bit of a ding dong about youth players.
well, you've had a ding dong. I've just been disagreeing with you.
You just refused to listen, which is surprising. But yeah, no, he did score against 10-man Cardiff. You know, well done. So from 3 yards.
There has been as well, talking about Potter, there has been some talk today about potentially Everton want David Moyes back.
Oh, I can't see that. Can they?
Oh, they can have him.
No, I know.
they can have him.
When they sat Lampard, they want Moisey back. I bet fucking David Sullivan would insist on a buyout. Insist on
Imagine that. Imagine someone having to buy Moyes.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What would that be? What would the price be, do you reckon? What would you charge Everton for him?
30 bob. But I'll tell you what, I'll drive him up to Goodison.
I would.
Do that.
I would.
Yeah.
I'll drive him up. I'll put the meter on.
Yeah.
I'll put the meter on.
Oh, dear.
John says Karen Brady doesn't have a bikini. She has balls.
Might be why she screamed.
Hair remover or a tree surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, look, we're going to keep talking about the old thing anyway, but it's never going to make you happy, is it, Nick? It's never going to make you happy, David Moyes. So
No, he ain't gonna. No, David Moyes won't make me happy. Look, listen, and I said this on my show the other day, and I mean this as well. The next 2 games, if David Moyes wins them, he's going nowhere. But also, what that does mean is that he's likely going to keep us safe as well, which is a main. Which now, listen, you're interrupting me now. See, you're doing it, right? See. But basically, what that means is as well, the season's dead. It's done. If it looks like he's going to keep us up, then fine. I actually don't care, because my main concern is is just avoiding relegation this season. It is. So if it looks like he can do it, then leave it till the summer. I'd like him to go now. I'm still going to be Moyes out regardless what happens now. I can't forget last year. I can't forget what I've been watching. I don't like his style of football at all. I'm still going to want him out.
Yeah,
but
he'll be gone.
hopefully he'll be gone. But yeah, well, I'm not saying hopefully he'll be gone because I don't want us. Because what my fear is, I said this the other day. My fear is if we lose to Wolves and then heaven forbid we lose to Everton, I think then whoever comes in has got a massive job on their hands, like a real huge job.
Why has it gone from the supposed 3 games, which we've already passed now, to another 1 or maybe 2? Well,
no, this is the big. This is the big one. This is the one.
This is the halfway point, John. And this is the halfway
this
point.
Is the big one, yeah.
You remember we were talking about potential clauses.
This puts us in the bottom 3
contract. No, you remember we were talking a few games ago the possible reasons they could get rid of him. And one probable reason, very likely reason.
I think this is it. I think this is it.
We're in the bottom 3 at the halfway point, or we're down there at the halfway point, and that would trigger a clause in the contract.
They can sack him
for nothing. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what people are thinking. Also, not being funny, we're on 15 points out of 18 games, 15 out of 19. That is looking like relegation form, isn't it? And do you really want to risk that one more winnable game at home to Everton?
No.
So I kind of agree with Nick on that. But on the flip side, if we do go and beat Wolves, and I'm going to that game, God help me, and then we beat Everton, then that's 6 points. We go on to 21 points from 20 games.
Yeah.
Suddenly things are looking a whole lot better, aren't they?
Looking more healthy then I'll start to be a little bit more confident that he can dig us out of this, because this has been my concern all along. Like I say, people they overlook, right? And everyone's going to, I know Gary and John, you don't agree with me with this, but people overlook the failure at Sunderland, right? I know they were a basket case club. I know they were always teetering on relegation. They were, but they always survived. They was in the Premier League for 10 seasons before David Moyes come along. They backed him with 13 players. He bought 2 players that were their record signings. They went down on. They didn't just get relegated. They went down rock bottom on 26 points, 14 points or 16 points clear of safety. They went down with a whimper. Not only that, because of all the money that he spent and the players that he bought, he left them in financial ruin, because 2 of those players that he bought, they went AWOL when they got relegated. So Sunderland couldn't sell them. They couldn't get him off the wage books. They just had to sack him and get rid of him. No return. They plummeted through the fucking divisions. And then he had the front to join us and say, winning's what I do.
Yeah, I must admit, until you mentioned that the other week and said what a terrible job he'd done, I had written off Sunderland as a basket case. I did go back and look into it.
Was that bad?
And he really didn't do a good job there.
No.
He really didn't do a good job.
And it got worse. It got worse as the season went on.
He took over from Allardyce, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
2 great West Ham managers then, is that what you're saying?
2 icons of Claret and Blue.
I know.
So, what do you think about, before we go on and talk about Wolves anyway, there's been a lot of rumours, a lot of gossip. Transfer window is open again. I know you're reluctant to talk about it because the bigger agenda item is that Moyes is going to exit stage left. But we are being linked with quite a few players, as usual. And again, these are the sort of players.
Sorry, Gary.
These are the sort of players who I think we could use, whether Moyes is there or not. And so I'd kind of be in favour of signing anyone good. Brereton Diaz, apparently we're bulking at the 15 million, saying that's far too much.
Yeah, well, I remember I told you a couple of months ago, I had a geezer in the back of my cab who was an Everton fan, and he was adamant. He was adamant that he was at the top of Everton's wanted list in January because he's obviously up in the same vicinity and that. But for 15 million, I mean, I've heard sort of 9 to 10 because I think he's out of contract in the summer, maybe.
Right.
I've heard 9 to 10. Like I said before, mate, for that sort of money, it's peanuts to potentially keep you in the Premier League in it overall. Let's be honest.
It is. But don't forget, the first time around, David Moyes was offered, and this is a fact. David Moyes was offered James Maddison for 14 million at the time. He said he didn't rate him.
Okay, but Harry read
we signed Jordan.
Harry Redknapp was offered Shevchenko.
But we're talking about a manager that is. We're talking about a manager that is a fucking. It's a clusterfuck in the transfer market. John, it is.
Football is about opinions, right? When you have a player who's a young, listen, but you're shaking your head and rolling your eyes again, Nick. Because it is. Football's about opinions, right? We West Ham. Remember, West Ham had Ray Houghton on the books and didn't think he was good enough. Went on to be one of the greats at Liverpool and that, right? Harry Redknapp turned down Shevchenko.
Ray Houghton, you're turning into Nigel.
Well, no, it's not Nigel turning into Nigel, but it's just trying to prove facts. Loads of managers. I'm not saying Moyes was right. He was obviously
he was wrong. He bought Hugo instead for the same money.
Okay, I know he was wrong. I'm not saying he was right. But what I'm saying is everyone makes fucking mistakes, especially judging them.
I know. Bless him.
What did Harry Redknapp say about Shevchenko? He didn't pull up any trees.
Yeah.
To be fair, Shevchenko in the Premier League never did pull up many trees, did he?
Oh, that was 12 years later, Nick, when he was nearly in his career.
Did he?
Who was that? Who was that guy that went on to be a world superstar who broke his little toe getting onto the plane, coming over to sign for West Ham?
That's fucking typical West Ham, that, isn't it?
Oh,
I don't know who it is. Didn't we almost sign Neymar as well?
No, but this was a proper at the time. Well, it went on to be a world star. I forget his name.
I can't think. Who is
South American. No, I can't think either. Let us know in the chat who it was.
Wellington Paulista?
Sex 69 Fun is contributing to the chat.
Elan.
Shall I leave Sex 69 Fun in there, or shall I block them?
No, I blocked them. I went on. No, it'll come up. Someone
it was Mandy's question. I wanted to talk.
Right,
so
Salas. That's who it was.
A question for the distinguisting panel. She's talking about me. Do the players want a new manager? John will say no. Gary, what do you think?
Well, hang on. Whoa.
You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know.
You're going to get Gary.
Go on, Gary, you can go first now because I'm going to have a reply for that muppet.
Yeah, I think the players are playing for the shirt at the moment. I don't think they're necessarily playing for David Moyes. Having said that, if you say, has he lost the dressing room? No, he clearly hasn't. But then again, has he lost the dressing room to the same degree that Alan Kirbishley lost the dressing room? Yeah, who will know? If I would say the players would jump at a new manager, right? And I'll tell you a reason why.
Apart from Gary, the original players won't jump at a new manager. The original ones.
I'll tell you my reason. Here's my thinking on this, right? When Benrahma scored that goal yesterday, there was so many players who fucking, got around and huddled him and give him a cuddle and everything else. It wasn't just, patting him on the back and everything else. There was some proper, they were getting right close to him. And I don't know if you saw, there was like a throng of players around him, right?
It was almost sexual, was it?
That they kind of, no, but that to me said that they could see that he was been treated badly.
He has been treated badly. He has.
Yeah.
We can all see it.
Yeah. I don't think he's been treated badly this year compared to other seasons because he's had a lot more game time this season. But I do agree with you that some of the comments Moyes has made are bordering on ridiculous and ludicrous, right? I agree with that.
Listen, in any other walk of life, David Moyes would be up on a fucking HR claim, I think. He would be. He'd be in trouble with the HR. He would be.
Anyway,
in answer to Mandy's question, did you answer it, Gal? Sorry.
Yeah. Go on, John.
Yeah. What I would say is I agree in so much as the reason the fans this season have predominantly been pro Benrahma is because we've noticed that he is playing for the shirt when he plays, right? And that's my argument all of the time. Would they want a new manager? Probably, but most of them are going to be gone anyway at the end of the season. So do they really care who's the manager? But someone like Benrahma, yes, of course.
My just to labour this point a minute. I've got a slightly different way of looking at it, and I think this is the reason why David Moyes picks the same players over and over again, because it's going to be the players that will likely be discarded once David Moyes is gone that will be playing for David Moyes right now.
Yeah, but most of those players that play for David Moyes right now, the originals, are at the end of their careers probably at West Ham.
I know, but they're the ones that David Moyes trusts. Basically, they're probably the ones that like David Moyes. Yeah,
I get that. But in the same breath, I think if you're a player in a changing room, and if the Jacob Steinberg article we talked about the other week is to be true, players know when something's gone stale as well, don't they? So what I mean is they'll always play for the manager. They probably respect Moyes. A lot of them respect Moyes and like Moyes, but are they agreeing with the style of play? Probably not.
I don't know. No. And, by the way, going back to my point, the first one to run over and congratulate Benrahma was Paqueta, and the second one was Declan Rice.
Well, there you go.
They were all over him.
Yeah.
Well, I just got another question I want to pull up. I think it's a very
interesting
question. I'd like to answer this one first.
Barney McGrew. Yeah, I saw this one.
Virgil, how many times have you wanted to chin Nick all the years you've known him? Well, I've known Nick 35 years, I believe, and probably daily, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, millions.
He hasn't got the bottle.
Although,
He's the amount of times he's walked off in a half, past Vicky Park and kicked a duck up the arse in frustration because he couldn't do it. He couldn't summon the strength. He couldn't do it. Go on.
I didn't know which chin to chin.
Why you got that big beard? Yeah.
I can't bother to say it. Sorry,
Go on.
Gone off
Go on.
tangent a little bit.
Coming in.
Is Souček Moyes' love child? Yes, probably. What's this one? It was said, this is about the Steinberg article, isn't it? It was said last week that Moyes clashed with senior members of the squad.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We never know. We're never going to know the true story. So,
well, I can only imagine I mean, look. Listen, as you've got to agree. You've said it before, John. When you're not winning and stuff like that, and things ain't going well, there's going to be discontent everywhere. You would like to think that somebody has challenged him.
Yeah,
I would say that's healthy. Because it's not working. So I would hope that there are some leaders in that dressing room that are challenging him, because the players will be able to see it.
I'm not sure what cheeks he wants to squeeze, but I'll leave that on there. Yeah, Gal, one for you. Are the board looking to keep Moyes so they don't need another overhaul with a new manager who would want to get rid of older players, possibly?
I'll set the player ratings up and then we'll take some calls.
Possibly, however, if you look at the team, it's going to need an overhaul in summer, whether you like it or not, right?
Yeah,
it definitely is. There's another. We got to do the same this summer as what we did last summer, numbers wise, haven't we?
Yes.
Plus Declan Rice.
Indeed. Right, I'm just going to set up the player ratings. Carry on going through the comments.
Are we doing player ratings?
I'm just going to, Mandy's asked. We'll whiz through them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the results of the community-based ones that we did for the Leeds game, because we didn't do a player ratings after that. For some reason, we did two shows and didn't do player ratings.
That was your fault, wasn't it?
Yeah. My fault.
I mentioned it. I said you can do the player ratings. You said and then you said no.
You don't listen to us, Gal, does he?
But
you know what I mean, John? You know what I mean?
Look, this one here. Ex-West Ham employee has disclosed that if Moyes is fired, West Ham will probably look for a jobless manager to take his place.
But we know that anyway.
Yeah, that's what they do.
But it's a good point, because it's no compensation.
Is that an exclusive, or is that common sense?
He's an exclusive. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get your joke, Nick, if I'm honest with you.
That's what he calls them, John. He calls them exclusives.
Oh, yeah. Look, I agree with John. First rule of thumb for any player is to play for the club, not the manager. I agree totally. And you know what really frustrates me? You know when you see these clubs that are struggling, and then a new manager comes in and they get this new manager,
they start playing again. Yeah.
As a fan, that pisses me off, because I'm like, what? I've been coming every week to watch you. Why are you doing it now?
Can you tell me the middle three? Was it? Did we play a 4-3-3, or did we play? It was Rice Staple with Paqueta and Souček in more advanced, wasn't it?
Sorry,
what was the shape? What was the shape that we played against Brentford? Was it in the middle?
Against Brentford, that was with Paqueta.
Deeper with Rice, wasn't he? Paqueta was deeper with Rice, and Souček was a floater, basically.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, it changed though. It did evolve. Because there were times during the game where Paqueta was further forward. And there was times really late on in the game, for instance, where Antonio dropped out left and Paqueta found his way into the middle. I know this because it was right in front of me. It was
I think when
been quite fluid, you know.
Yeah, we do try and be fluid, but don't often work, does it? What's this? Hello, Happy Hammers. I think we need at least one striker and left back and a right back in this window to stay up. Not sure if a cup run will help us with Europe in mind.
No. I think it won't last, but it was nice to get the win.
Let's for one second imagine that Cornet actually does have a proper injury, and it's a rare one, and they've just found out the source, and they're going to treat it, and he'll come back and he can play the rest of the season without injury. Let's imagine that happens, right? Then that means
like a new player, won't he?
Exactly. Then that means we've got him and Emerson as left wing backs, basically, right? And then on the right-hand side, we don't have a right wing-back. We just ain't got one, right? So we need a right wing-back. We need someone that can play right back and right wing-back and be good in both positions. There's no reason why you can't buy a player who can do both, right? Who can do both jobs.
Yeah.
Who came on as subs at the weekend? Fornells and Downs, wasn't it?
Fornells, Downs and Benny.
Yeah.
And Benny, yeah.
Well, Downs got on with about a minute left, didn't he?
Yeah, Benny came on, but he was shit.
Look, talking about Downs from Alan. Should Downs be getting more game time? 100%, mate. I don't think there's anyone that would disagree there. Surely,
I think he's the Declan Rice successor. I mean, obviously he's not as good as Declan Rice, but I think as a holding central defensive midfielder, he's good at that. He's not going to be as good as Declan, but he can do that role.
Yeah.
Do you think? So Eastside said, "Will it cost much money to sack Moyes? Anyone know?" Well, you'd have to pay him up. You'd have to agree.
Yeah. I don't listen. I've not been told that the clause thing is the case. That's basically what. It's just what makes sense to me. If they're waiting for that, then that tells me there's got to be a reason for it. It's halfway through the season, dead on, bang on.
Exactly that. Even if it ain't a clause thing, halfway through the season is when alarm bells start ringing in it.
Yeah.
In fact, it's over halfway because we haven't finished our first half fixtures. We've still got one outstanding against Newcastle. Do you remember?
Yeah, but it is 19 games. We've got to play Newcastle twice in the next one.
Technically, this is quite funny. Look, Robert Bryant says it was said that Everton would have to pay West Ham $5 million compensation for Moyes, and then straight back at him, Lawrence Salmon says it would be cheaper for the ball to cut Moyes' brake cables. We don't condone
we don't break cables.
We don't. Listen, so what we do, we're going to do the player ratings. Let me run through the Leeds ratings that you lot voted for. So this year against Leeds. So each of the player ratings, we didn't get a chance to do it. So we asked you lot on the community section of the YouTube page to vote for us. So Fabianski, there was 67 votes. He got a 6. It's pretty good, I think. I think that's about right. Then we had Kera, 3. So he's a donkey. I'll do the graphic for him as well. He was awful.
Yeah.
Then we had Sufal, who got a 7. I think that's fair.
Good, played well.
Yeah, Dawson got 5. I think that's right. He was involved in both goals there, negatively. Yep. Aguirre got a 7. Again, I agree with that.
Played well.
He did. Then we had Rice. So 6.5, I suppose, because it's 6 and 7 split, 41% each. I think I would have given him a 7, but that's fair enough. You lot have spoken. Souček got a 5. I would have gone lower than that. I don't know what he did. Paqueta got a 7. I probably would have given him an 8. There was a lot that did. There was 67 votes. 51% of people said 7. 39% said 8.
Yeah,
a couple said 9.
I think the trouble with Paqueta, and this is something I was discussing in football yesterday. So the trouble with Paqueta is he will always try stuff, and some will come off and it'll look brilliant. Some will not come off, but he's always trying to do it. And that's why we're all kind of taking a shine to Benny, because he's always trying to do it, even if it doesn't come off. Right? We like to see people trying.
I think that what we've got is we've got a team full of people that play it safe, 6 yard, 7 yard, 6 yard passes, and then you need people that are going to take a risk, and it ain't going to come off every time. Fornell's got 6 out of 10. Bowen, he got a 6 out of 10 as well. And we're getting there. Hang on. Skamaka got a 7 out of 10. I think he played well. 156 votes on this one. Antonio got a 5 out of 10. It was out of a 5 or a 4. 46% said 5, 42% said 4 out of 156 votes. Benrahma got 6. Wait for Eastside to explode in the chat. He got a 6. Downs got a 6 as well. Yeah. How did he get the same as Downs? He's going right now. David Moyes. Basically, how I did the player ratings on David Moyes, as you know, anything below a 4 is a donkey, 4 or below. So your options were 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 196 votes. He got 4.
Right.
So he's a donkey, whatever happens. But anyway, let's throw these ones up anyway.
Yeah.
And once we've done with this, we'll start taking calls. Window.
Sorry.
That's all right, John. Don't apologise.
The boys drive me nuts.
Right, John. We'll start with you, Fabianski.
This is for today's game, yeah? Brentford game.
Brentford's one,
He didn't have loads to do, did he?
Made 2 very good saves.
Made a couple of. Yeah, he didn't have loads to do. I mean, it was unusual to have him in the starting cup team, wasn't it? Is Areola injured?
He wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah, Areola got injured.
Yeah, he must be injured. Yeah. I mean, he done a save to deny. What's that bloke's name? Wissa, close range save, and he denied. What's his name? The bloke from Hull City, Lewis Potter.
Lewis Potter. Yeah, he looked lively, didn't he? Lewis Potter.
Yeah, he looked all right. He hasn't had much input since he's been there, but I'd give Fabs a 7.
A 7, fair enough.
I'll give him a 7. Yeah, I think he did all right.
Everyone in the chat's going 6s. So if you go 6,
what's everyone saying? 6s.
Yeah, do you want to whiz for him? There we go.
Yeah, we've got 6s here. Hang on, 6s. Yeah, everyone seems to be going 6. I'm going to go for 7 because he didn't put a foot wrong, and what he did well. But yeah, I'm happy with my 7. I'm not changing it for anyone. Anyone calls me a flip flop, I will switch.
Dave, where are you?
David Trevitt. What?
Yeah. Gary, Dawson.
Like I said earlier, the back three had a decent game. I'd mark again above the other two. I give Dawson a 6. I thought he was steady. He didn't make any big fuck ups. He looked quite comfortable in a back three made of centre halves.
I agree. Are we throwing these scores up? We are, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit slow coming through at the minute, mate. Sorry. So we've got Dawson with 7s and 6s. 7s and 6s seems to be the main.
I'm
5.
I'm going to go Ogbonna. I think defensively we were sound. I think this was Ogbonna's best game since he's come back. So I would probably go a 7 for Oggy for me. If we were doing decimals, I'd go a high 6, but no, it's going to be a 7. I think he played well.
I like the way he was getting involved as well with the there was a little bit of drama at the end with the Brentford players, and he was getting right in the heart of the nastiness,
Yeah. I can't imagine him. I can imagine he was trying to be peacekeeper though, because he seems like too nice to get.
No, he looked angry. He looked angry.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's a bit of a lump, isn't he? He's a bit of a lump.
Yeah, but he's a nice lump. He's a nice lump, isn't he?
He is.
A bit like you.
Right, John Aguirre.
I thought Aguirre played very well. Obviously, he was the pace amongst the back three from what I saw. He covered the other two when he had to. I thought he looked good. I'd say 7, maybe an 8.
I think majestic's the word you're looking for, John.
Yes, I just thought he looked very calm and assured and all that. I'll give him an 8. East side's put 8. I said 7, maybe 8. I'll go 8 just to keep.
I think it's pretty split between 7s and 8s in there, mate.
He carries the ball out of defence as well. I didn't know this. He carried the ball out of defence.
He pushes
past the halfway line yesterday. He was he was heading towards the 18-yard box with a ball.
Michelet's 6. Michelet's gone 6.
We need a bit of that, don't we? Because we need a bit of that. You're like playing in between the lines, playing to feet into the centre mid, driving out from the back a little bit more.
I'll leave that one there for a minute.
Why is he getting involved? Why is someone else calling me? Dave Trevitt is going to be banned from this.
Right, Gary Emerson.
Oh.
Emerson, I thought, had a bit of a ropey first half. I'll tell you what they were doing. It was actually a back three, not a back five, because all the three centre halves, I saw Ogbonna in the first half actually giving instruction to Emerson and saying, don't stay back here with us, get forward. And Johnson was getting forward on the right-hand side. Not doing very much, but getting forward.
Emerson did put in the best cross of the game.
Emerson did. That was second half. So Emerson had a poor first half and a pretty good second half where he was much more involved. So I'll give him a 6.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, in the chat, he's getting 5s and 6s, predominantly 6s. So seems fairly. Yeah,
right fairly. Now, Paqueta, I'm going to go for a 7 for Paqueta. Listen, on the balance of everyone else, he probably deserved an 8, but because he is such a good player and all of his through balls and everything else didn't come off, I'm going to give him a 7. He would have got an 8. I think I loved his tackling. He made a couple of really important tackles as well. He gets back deep. He's and good tackles. He tackles well. He doesn't appear clumsy. He wasn't getting caught on the ball as much. I think he was good. All it is, I like seeing him back there. I like seeing him back there. I like seeing him combative. I just don't want him to get Moyes in the same way that Fornals has. I don't want it to become all about industry. I think
no. But I'll tell you what the trouble is, Nick, as well, is when you've got a player like that who wants to get on the ball. Yeah. If we're not transitioning from defence into attack quick enough, he'll come looking for the ball. because he wants to be on
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah, he does. Yeah.
He'll come deeper and deeper and deeper. Maybe in the place you don't want him to be. What's Michael Levy said here? He says he lost the ball constantly. I'm still not sold on him. 5.
No, second. I'll tell you when he did that was late in the second half when he was tiring a little bit. He didn't do it early on. He didn't do it.
I'll be the flip flop here because, like I say, I think it was on the balance of play with everyone else. Maybe I'm being unfair on him. If I'm judging it as it is against all the other players, it probably was an 8 performance compared to when you think of what he offered us. Yeah. And there's a lot of 8s in the chat as well. So you know what, I am going to give him an 8. I think it was possibly his most solid all round game. I would say
this is a great point from Andy. People are scoring him because of his price tag.
I think maybe.
No, expectation of his talent. It's his talent. Yeah, I think.
The price tag comes with the talent. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, that could be something. I'm not trying to be unfair to him. I just
I don't think it is, Andy. I think people can see quality when you know and a couple of things I saw happen, especially that ball that he played yesterday, where he played the ball down the line to Emerson. It was so perfectly weighted because there wasn't much space. There's only a few yards for that ball to decelerate, you know. And Emerson just ran onto it without breaking stride and still had all the time in the world to look up and pick. That's the kind of quality that nobody else in the team is capable of play. Nobody's capable of weighting a ball like that, right? That's what you get with him.
This is the best name ever for a Moyes supporter. Thank you very much, Dick Scratcher. This should be called the anti-Moyes show.
It should be actually, yeah.
I'm not anti-Moyes. I just think he needs to go. It's not anti him. It's just time.
Right, yeah, I know.
Just quickly, Michael's come back. He says it's been half a season now, gents. He lifted the ball over the defender, broke away, and then gave it away straight away. I was getting frustrated with how much he gave it away. So yeah, I mean,
I get it.
What's your opinion? Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying. I think Nick said it before, maybe Gary it was, I don't know. When you play like that, you will give the ball away a bit. It is frustrating at times to watch, but when it comes off, I suppose it's great. But
I think we've only started seeing him try to dominate games in the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we have. Right, listen,
I think so, yeah.
Declan Rice, John.
Declan Rice for me was good, solid. He got that assist for Benrahma's goal with 2 fantastic tackles.
Yeah.
I'd give him. See, I'm scoring him because you give Paqueta an 8. I'd give Rice 7.
7. Yeah,
7.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that's fair. He did have a good game.
I thought he had a good game.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Considering he got absolutely annihilated on social media, some West Ham fans last week, but I won't talk about that again.
Right. Gary, good luck with this one.
Well, Johnson, I mean, what did Johnson do going forward? I mean, literally nothing.
No.
He was solid defensively. That's all I can say. He was solid defensively. I'm going to give him a 5. He was playing as a wing back. That means main part of his game was getting forward, getting down the line, afraid to cross, too prone to turn around and play an easy ball back. You know, doesn't want to take a risk in a dangerous part of the pitch. 5.
Yeah,
just ain't suited to it. Not his fault.
No, that's it. Right. There's a lot of people going 4s. And a lot of people going 4s on that. What are they saying?
Wait. I've got to pull it up. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm not doing it because it's...
Go on.
Chris, this is not a number, Chris. You have to score on 1 to 10. There's no number 10, right? There's that made me laugh. Just shit. That's not a score. And then this one from Bailey. A clear agenda against Moyes, especially from him.
It is. I'll wear it with pride. I want him out. Out. Get out my club. I want him out. Right. So, Gary, what did you give him? 5.
5, yeah.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
Honestly, I am sorry. I was having a conversation on Facebook earlier on, and there are just some people out there where they say, "Oh yeah," but they're just happy with any type of football. It's like if you was doing like fine wine tasting, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between fucking vinegar and a nice Malbec. It'd be like, well, it's all wet in it, all kicking the ball. Right now, I promise you, John Souček was playing, so you're gonna have to score him next.
Yeah, look, he was diabolical. He looks he looks knackered all the time. He looks washed up. He looks like a rabbit in the headlights. He just, look, I love what the guy done when he first came to the club.
Yeah.
He's been dropped and it still doesn't seem to have worked for him. He still seems completely lost. It's no coincidence that we looked better as soon as he came off, almost, when Benny came on as well. So for me, it's going to have to be a 4
It's got to be. That's, he's unfortunately now, and it's sad to say this, as you say. We didn't want this. We wanted him removed from the club for this reason. Even though I'm past hating on Souček, I do feel sorry for him now. But he hinders the team. He hinders the team. He doesn't help us.
Well, the thing is he's been dropped from a couple of games, and it doesn't seem to have had the desired effect, and that's the worry. It's like the pressure's too much for him there.
Yeah,
it'd be good in Europe. It'd be good in Europe where the Premier League is so quick, and Brentford. Don't forget
this is Thomas Souček. Please
Brentford
don't
are the
give me
team.
donkey.
The Brentford are the team who first figured Thomas Souček out. There was that home game where they gave him no time whatsoever. He's probably scarred by that.
Yeah, probably. Right, I'll take. These are hard to score. I'll take Bowen. Okay, I think Bowen. I don't think he was very effective. I think the industry that was there. I think he worked hard, which we can say about him a lot. But I don't think he really did much. I think it was an average game. I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was good. If that makes sense.
I think he was below average. I wouldn't say he was a donkey.
You reckon he was below average?
Yeah.
You're
score. Don't get me wrong. But...
Yeah. Well, a 5 or a 6, it don't really matter. But yeah, no, I'll go for a 5 because, like I said, it's hard to score him. I didn't really notice him. Not really.
He was buzzing around, but he didn't do much.
No, Antonio, Gary.
Antonio, well, look, he put in a shift like he always does, and he was actually pretty good second half. Really, really getting involved in the physical battles second half. Didn't really create much or have much created for him. He was just a presence up front, quite a good presence. I'll give him a 5.
He was
5 or 6. 5 or 6. 5. What do you reckon?
I think 5's enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
save him from a donkey.
Yeah, in the chat, he's getting
save him from a donkey. He weren't a donkey.
Yeah, he weren't.
Chris ain't getting it again. He's gone minus 100. I don't know what scale.
You maverick, Chris.
He's some sort of nutter. This geezer.
Right,
Chris ain't
John,
taking our scoring system seriously, is he?
Pablo Formals. No. Benrahma came on first, didn't he?
Yeah,
Benrahma. Go on, John. You can have Benny.
Well, changed the game, didn't he? I know he scored. He scored the alleged wonder goal, which was, it's a goal at the end of the day, and you wanted to score more goals because that is, scoring goals and assists is the end product that we're all craving from Benny. A little bit more consistency. His goal won the game, and for the fact that he changed it, I'd give him a high 8. And he'd be my man of the match, personally. So I'd give him a. I know you've got Paqueta with an 8. That's your scoring system.
He won us the game. He won us the game.
Yeah.
I'd give him a high 8 man of the match.
When did he come on? I think it was the 66th minute, wasn't it? So I think that's valid. He was on for over 20 minutes.
Yeah, he changed the game. Scored the winner. Changed the game.
He did.
We looked a lot better when he did come on. So
can't really say much about Fornals and Downs, can we? Do you want to just? What do you reckon with them, Gary? Flat 6s for them.
Give him a 6 each. Yeah.
Downs must be fucking scratching his head.
I'll tell you what, just to set the chat off, I'm going to give Moyes to John. John, tell me what you thought about Moyes on this one. Go on, mate.
He won the game. So, he only made 4 changes. He took it seriously. He picked Souček again, which was the glaring error. I'd give Moyes a 6. He won the game, and that was what it was about.
A 6? Okay, that's fine.
Sparing him a donkey.
Genius
substitutions.
You can't give a manager a donkey if they win the game. Sorry. Don't work like that.
I could. Right. Man of the match. We'll put it to the people in the chat. John said Benrahma. I'm kind of in agreement as well. I think Paqueta was up there as well, if I'm being honest. Who would be your man of the match, Gary?
Benrahma.
Go on. Let us know what your man of the match is. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that, are they?
Aguerd was good.
He was good.
Was brilliant.
But then he won us the game, so for me, it's
Yeah.
But
it is. I'll tell you what though.
It's all about winning.
Are our expectations being realigned? Because you've got a 7, an 8, a 7, an 8 in what was a shit game.
I think this is perfect scoring for what happened in the game, right? What happened in the game was we had hardly anything going forward, and that shows in the ratings that we've got here.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Gary's 100% right.
Hang on, Benny ain't got it cleared. There's quite a few for Paqueta there, for Paqueta.
It's
Or is
it's quite split actually. I'm quite surprised, but yeah, Paqueta and Benrahma. But I think for me, it would be overriding because he won us the game. Why is this geezer? Can we get him? Why is he? If he phones up tonight, don't answer. That's all I'm saying.
Right, okay, yeah, go on. Benny gets a man of the match. Right, that's the end of that. I've got to get rid of that now because Moyes hasn't got a donkey on his head. Right,
Someone's got the ump.
Let's unshare that. Now.
Take the player ratings off at the top.
Right, okay. Any questions that any of you would like to ask us in the chat before we open the phone lines?
Or just don't be tarts and phone up. It's not simple.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. What would you? Or let us know. Let us any talking points. I will give you a couple of minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll pair the phone now, and if anybody does want to phone in, you can.
I bumped into two people who watched Claret and Blues yesterday. I didn't get the name of the first guy, but I was standing there with
Scott.
With Jim Grant.
Scott, who came on here as well.
I met Scott, but I was standing there with Jim Grant having a coffee. It's Jim Grant's from Stop Hammer Time podcast you're watching. And the guy that came up to me and said, "Claret and Booze." I said, "Yeah, you're right, how you doing?" And then Jim said, "Stop Hammer Time." He said he listens to him as well. So he got two for the price of one.
Oh,
so that's good. Yeah. And then Scott said hello inside the ground. Nice guy, Scott. He's the one from Liverpool, isn't he?
Yes, well, he's from East London. He's from
I know.
He's from Southern Grove, didn't he? But
and he went to the Brit and everything else, didn't he?
Living up in Liverpool now.
Who went to the Brit?
No, he did. He grew up around our neck of the woods. He's round about our age as well.
Why you said he knew me?
Yeah. He agreed with me about you. Same sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's why he moved up to. That's why he moved up to Liverpool. Yeah, exactly. What was this? Now, question: out of 10, what do you think the chances are of West Ham avoiding relegation? I think we will avoid relegation, with or without Moyes. I genuinely do. I just think we've got enough.
I'm a 50-50, so 5 out of 10 for me.
So you're flip-flopping, yeah? Okay.
I'll go same. I'll go 5 out of 10 at the moment. Yeah, I would.
So it's all on the next few games, John.
Yeah.
Of course, it's always on that.
I mean, it'll be clearer if after the Everton game you could ask that question. Then we'll be a little bit more certain. Because I am, even if we're going to have to change him if we lose those games. Even though I think he's going to be going after Wolves. But at that point, I'll be worried for whatever manager comes in as well. I'll be like, oh fuck.
Well, Wolves have got 2 draws and a win at the last 6, I think.
So they're playing better,
3, 4, 5. So
they are playing better.
They've got 5 points out of the last 18. Yeah, they're playing a bit better. They seem to be. Yeah. I mean, they're a bit. Yeah, they're tougher to beat, I suppose. They're not letting in loads of goals. I know they did lose 3 against Brighton, a couple against Arsenal, but I think they're not the Wolves that would be that fearful a couple of seasons ago. I mean, Traore's not what he was. What's the striker's name who wears the mask? Is it Jimenez?
Jimenez, I like him.
Yeah, I know, but since his injury, he's been nowhere near the same player. No. I don't fear them, but it's one of them games for us. And
Gary, C and B.
What was that?
That's Gary.
Watford, not from Watford.
Gary, you went too soon. You know what you mean. Hello, Gary. Can you hear me?
Hello, Nick. Yeah, how are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. Right, chat. We will get back to you after this call. Right, Gary, how are you, mate?
I'm fine. How are you, John? Gary, all right?
Yeah, all good. Cheers,
mate.
Gary.
All good, thank you, mate.
Good. Yeah, but watching the show with interest. I was going to say, I think the players are bailing Moyes out because it's almost like I don't know if he's doing it deliberately, but he keeps making these strange decisions. I mean, I've been calling for Johnson to play for weeks in a back 4. But one thing he's not a wing back. He's not a wing back. When I saw that, I think, we haven't got players to play the wing back role. I think the game one against Wolves, I would play Johnson at left back and bring Cafell back at right back. He had a good game against Leeds. Then you've got to play again with either Zuma or Dawson. Go to a back 4 against Wolves.
That's it. Gary, sorry, mate. 1 second. Well, we just had a miss. Well, I've had a missed call, an unnamed number. I don't accept no numbers because withheld numbers because if you do phone up and give me loads of abuse, I can't phone you back up and give you abuse back. So yeah, for that reason, it works well because we don't seem to get any shitty callers. So yes, if you withhold your number, unfortunately, we can't do it. Go on, Gary. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Yes, mate. And also, yet again, he plays Souček. I mean, it's beyond a joke now. I mean, against Wolves, it's going to be very interesting now, because if he plays Souček and leaves Benny on the bench again, and we don't win that game or lose that game, there's going to be a world to pay. You know, I just don't see where he's come. I just don't see what he sees sometimes, lads. You know, when he watches his games, you know, what does Souček offer us anymore? He's not, you know, if he
doesn't,
scores,
mate. He doesn't.
He's still scoring goals, fine, but he's not even doing that, is he?
No.
It's interesting what you say there, because Gary, you've sort of covered what Michael says here. It's a funny one with Souček. Moyes' loyalty to him seems inexhaustible. Yet wasn't it Moyes who refused to give him a new contract? Good point. And tried to get rid of him in the summer. Yeah, that is quite interesting, isn't it? That.
Yeah, he did.
I've got a theory. I've got a theory about Moyes with Souček. Can I just tell you, lads, what I think it is? I think the theory is, I'm going to tell you a couple of games here. The Arsenal game at home last season, just before we had the semi-final against Frankfurt, we played Arsenal at home. Souček wasn't playing, and we conceded two goals to their centre-backs coming up, heading the goals. And against Brentford, he wasn't playing. And again, two throw in and, you know, come in again. So I think he's a bit scarred by that. And he thinks Souček gives us some sort of like stability in the air, which is, you know, can be a valid point. I mean, but I just don't think, you know, if you've got centre halves in there, you've got Zuma in there, you've got Dawson, you should have enough, really. So, I mean, Rice and Paqueta are not small. But I think with a game against Wolves, what would be the ideal score here, lads? I know it's a funny thing to ask you, but if what you're saying is true, then a draw would see Moyes gone, and Wolves wouldn't gain anything on us, would they?
No.
But if you win the game, it's a two-way thing. You stuck with Moyes.
Yeah, I think Gary, if we beat Wolves, then we're going to bring Everton back and beat them, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to get two on the bounce if we win the first one. If we lose the first one, then I don't want to even consider that.
What I'm really worried about is the Everton have got Southampton weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Now, if Everton lose that, I think Lampard's gone.
I think you're right.
And then we'll play Everton with a new manager.
I can almost guarantee, because I've been listening to. I'm part of an Everton Facebook group. I don't participate. I just look. I'm like a voyeur.
Yeah.
Because I just look. And very similar murmurings coming from their fan base as what's coming from ours. They were very much in support of Lampard because they're sick of changing managers all the time. But it's all switched. Yeah. They want him gone. Even the ones that were sensible, that kind of wanted to give him time, they've swung the other way. I think they'd be mad to stick with him. I think they're gonna go down if they stick with Lampard. They'll go.
Yeah, I think personally, Bournemouth are going to go and Southampton are going to go. There are two I'm sure about. I think it's one from West Ham, Everton. There's a few sides down there. Wolves. The thing with Wolves is they're about an upturn. You know, look at their recent results. They're playing well, and normally a draw at Wolves wouldn't be a terrible result. But
that's right. But that's what we were saying the other day. Usually, a draw away at Leeds. If you strip out the context of the situation, a draw away at Leeds, you wouldn't moan about. But you can't strip out the context of the situation because we're 2 points off the bottom. So you physically can't, and we're just losing so many. We've won 4, we've lost 11. So you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it.
Do you know what, Nick? The other night after I spoke to you, I went to bed and I was thinking about our chats on the phone, and you made a very good point and you said about how many points we're going to get and where they're coming from. And I actually went through all the games that I thought were winnable.
Yes. Oh God, you're going to scare us.
No, but I think, you know, Forest at home, Southampton at home are winnable games.
Yeah.
I think Bournemouth away is winnable. I think Villa at home is winnable. There's a number of games here we could win. But even so, I was trying to. What do you reckon? You're only guessing. What do you reckon the safety net, the points we would need to stay up? What would you say?
I think it's going to be lower than 40. I think it's going to be lower than 40 this year because there's a lot of teams. You know, it's still quite congested down there, isn't it? I know it's only 19 games in, 20 games in, but it's still fairly congested down there. And I think it is very hard to call. I think you're right. I think Southampton look doomed. I think, look, Victor in the chat says 37. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We're not going to win many more games. Go on.
I worked it out without taking any points from the likes of Newcastle, Chelsea. Although saying that, I think Chelsea at home and Tottenham away, I wouldn't be surprised if we beat Wolves, if we draw at Wolves and beat Everton, say, get next 4 points, then you have to say with the previous 2 games, that we could be turning some sort of corner. But obviously, Chelsea at home is winnable. I think the way they're playing, definitely winnable.
Definitely.
We've beaten several. Newcastle away will be very difficult to get anything there.
Nottingham Forest one, it worries me. I just don't think that they're bad. I think they're only going to get better throughout the second half of the season.
The only thing I'd say is most of the games that you've mentioned are winnable. The problem is, are they winnable playing the same way that Moyes continues to play? No. If he changes things and plays the right way in terms of people in their right positions, he's giving himself and the club more of a chance. But he seems so apprehensive to do that, which is the frustrating thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And this is the other thing, of course. These next two games, we just can't afford. You know, we've got to get minimum 4 points here. Minimum. We've got to. Whatever way you look at it. Forget Moyes for a minute. But in terms of getting our target for the season,
I agree.
Look at the 3 games after that.
I agree. I agree completely because, like I said earlier on, fair enough. I want Moyes out, but not at the expense of West Ham getting relegated. No. And the more games that we keep fucking losing at this point of the situation. I mean, these are 6 pointers. You know, the Leeds one, fair enough. It would have been disastrous for us to have lost that. We didn't, but we needed the win. You know, it was 2 points dropped. But Wolves and Everton. Wolves and Everton. If we won that, I would fear because look, as you've just said, the games that we've got coming after that, I'd fear for whoever coming next. I really would.
Nick, wouldn't you love just to get in a room with Moyes? Just ask him a few questions. You know, the Suchek thing and the Benny thing. What is his agenda here?
He wouldn't answer truthfully. He doesn't tell the truth. A lot of people say with Moyes, with his press conferences, he keeps his cards close to his chest. He's coy. No, he's not. He's an outright fucking liar. We've heard his press conferences before when he comes out and he gaslights after the January transfer window. He fucking lies to us. He says whatever he thinks that we need to hear. He's a liar.
Can I tell you?
I think also with Benrahma, how good could this bloke be if he actually had a manager believed in him, put his arm around him, give him a cuddle? How good could he be? You know, I think he's got a lot of potential, Benrahma.
It could be brilliant. Can I just tell you all one thing, just to cheer you all up, right? I want to tell you one thing, and this is David Moyes talking about the fans because he's been having a go at us lately. And yesterday he said we were much better, right? He said, "Look, there's something going. Listen to this word for word. Look, there's something going on here. It's maybe not quite as good as we'd like at the moment, but it will not be long until we're back in good order." And he was trying to say that the fans were excited by that. We've just beaten Brentford's B team and scraped a draw away to Leeds. It's going really well, Dave.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Gary, do you think, and for John and Nick, do you think that when we brought the players in, the main player or one of the main players was important was Aguerd? I think the old team was built. And the only thing I would say in Moyes' favour, and I'm not saying Moyes in by any, so don't anyone jump down my neck like Eastside.
Next caller.
But I'm just saying, but I think when Aguerd got injured, I think it almost slightly destabilised us. And I think maybe this is why, if Aguerd would have been playing right from the start, maybe we'd be a little bit more adventurous, maybe. Because he'd have the security at the back.
Yeah. Look at the problems we had when Aguerd got injured in pre-season. Look at the problems we had trying to find one of the other centre-backs to play on the left side of the centre-back pairing. We were struggling beyond belief. Everyone looked uncomfortable. Zuma looked terrible. We struggled massively with that left side of the centre-back pairing or the three, whatever it is. So I think you're right. And I said that before. I think it made us very lopsided. And often what you found was Declan Rice playing more to the left of centre to cover, you know, the left-back situation, which was Cresswell, and the struggle we had at the left centre-back pairing. So I think you're right, because it does from the back. And I think having Aguerd back will add a lot of stability, and hopefully he don't get injured.
Yeah.
So I agree.
I would like to think, I think also, like, you just get a funny feeling, you know, I think Paqueta and Skimak are also maybe starting to maybe show some form. If you just do a slight turn, of course, if you lose on Sunday, we were back to, you know, we were back where we was, and we'd be negative again. But I do feel with West Ham, if you had another manager in there who came in, I said to you last week, I think you'll see 10-20% improvement in a lot of the players right across the board. You know, and I think that, and I think then we will go on a really good run. I think we will be well clear of relegation. Well clear.
Adams, I don't know if you just mentioned that, Gary. Adams just said Zuma's almost back as well.
Yeah. So what do you do, lads, on Sunday? I think you play Safel right back, Johnson left back, Aguerd, and then you choose from Zuma or Dawson. Probably have Zuma in there, but I don't want to see. Do you know what? When we won that game yesterday with the wing backs, Can you recall another game we've actually won with 3 at the back? Because I can't.
No.
No,
Not many.
no,
I can't ever remember us winning the game.
no, because up until now, the back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it, has been an emergency measure by Moyes when he's run out of centre halves.
Yeah.
Bailey. Oh, God, I'd love to know who you are.
Well, like
Everyone's
you said-
jumping on the bandwagon. Fuck me.
I'll tell you another thing, which John mentioned earlier, and I totally agree with John. If I was a Brentford fan, I'd be furious.
Stick your bandwagon
I
up
think
your
with,
arse, Bailey.
I see this with
Straight up there.
I see this with Bournemouth. Like, the Bournemouth are not going to. Brentford are not going to get top 7. They're not going to be relegated.
No.
So what are they doing? I mean, surely go for it with the FA Cup. Surely they're beating Man City, they're beating Liverpool.
It beggars the question for me. I'd be livid with that. I really would. I mean, you would have thought in the current predicament we would have made loads of changes, possibly, and they would have kept pretty much a full strength. Because I think if they would have got through against us, they would have had a very good chance of winning the thing. A very good chance.
Well, of course they would.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of teams. Chelsea are out now as well. I mean, then you've got Arsenal, got Manchester City. Probably if they get through, another Premier League side gone. Even West Ham, it could be a. This is what worries me slightly though. If we start going a good FA Cup run, as good as it is for momentum, and then you've got the Europa Conference starting in March. Yeah. I don't want too many games again. Back playing twice a week every week, maybe more.
What,
this is the only thing.
Sorry, Gary. Bailey's 2 messages away from saying go and support Spurs. Bailey, if you want to argue your points,
he's that bloke with a guitar, isn't he?
Phone in. I promise you, I won't shout you down. You can have your say. If you want to argue your point, you will. Yeah. I can't promise I won't pull faces and smile, but we like I say, we will. Yeah, but do that if you rather than just fucking the same old shit that you keep on posting. Yeah. Phone in. If you've got something to say, phone in and talk to us. We're
Bailey, all opinions are welcome, even wrong ones.
Yes. Even wrong ones, like yours.
But what I was saying about Brentford just now, about, I had a Spurs fan called Savvy the other night. Don't hear many Spurs fans talking. He said, this guy was really good. And he said, a lot of fans now think almost top 4 is a trophy. It's not, end of the day. In 20 years' time, we don't remember if we finished.
I've got a theory about it.
I've said it for years. I hate that top 4 thing. Arsenal. Like Arsenal for years was just content with finishing top 4 under Wenger near the end of his reign. It was almost like we must get top 4. Just for financial reasons.
I know.
I've got a theory about Brentford though, because Brentford, you would have thought they're up the top half of the table, going for a cup would be perfect for them. But when you look at how they're made up, that little club, they've moved from Griffin Park, 12,000, into a 17,000 seat stadium. I've got a friend who's a West Ham supporter who's with a group of friends who've all got season tickets over there, right? They've tried to fill that up by hook or by crook. There's no atmosphere over there. There was rugby played on the pitch 4 days ago. It's not what you could say. Listen, they're popping by into the Premier League for a couple of years. They know it's not forever. They'll be going back.
Gary, can I just say something? I watched and I know you ain't going to want to hear this. You don't agree with it. But do you remember when we said the other day in the Brentford game when they came to ours, the atmosphere was shit. We can't get ourselves up for Brentford. I watched Brentford when they played Liverpool. Right? You should have heard the noise in there. Do you know something, Gary? Yeah. They can't get themselves up for West Ham. That's where we are now.
Nick, you got to see that little ground. I mean, it doesn't matter how loud it is; it ain't going to be loud. I mean, got to be honest.
Probably you put
the mics in the right places inside the stadium. It'll probably be quite loud.
I'm just saying it was bouncing in there for that Liverpool game. And
I watched that Liverpool game. Jamie Carragher was even joining in at the end, and he's a Liverpool fan. I just think the same as us, because we're not an exciting team. We're not massive at the moment.
I don't want to insult them. Because they're a very nice club. And I'll tell you what, there's one thing they said as well with a season ticket. If you got a season ticket down there, you should get a call from the club on your birthday and things like that. Wish happy birthday. Wish happy birthday. Nice. John, you slam the phone down on them.
I like this from Kent. What do you reckon of this from Kent Hammers, Gary? So you got Moyes to Celtic and then Postecoglou to West Ham.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah,
that'd do, wouldn't it?
I mean, I think I can see if Moyes does go, I'll go. Moyes could go back to Everton, I suppose. It could boil down to? I think Southampton and Bournemouth are going to go. Southampton are down there. This new manager ain't working for them. I know they won the FA Cup yesterday, but the league form is not good. Forest look like they're slowly digging their way out. I think Wolves are going to have enough. West Ham or Everton, it could be really who switches manager first. Because
the only thing I'd say at the minute is there's what is there? I think there's 3 points between Leicester in 13th and Wolves in 19th. I really think Southampton are gone. I
Palace as well, John, slipping.
Yeah, I still think
Palace a bad form.
Right, but Barney, I've got to address Barney as well, because Barney's taking umbrage with the fact that Bailey is now getting shut down. Do you know something? All he's doing, Barney, is trying to shut other people down by saying there's an agenda, there's this, you're on a bandwagon, there's this, that, the other. So how is that acceptable? But other people going back at him not acceptable. All I'm saying is, if he was to phone in, I wouldn't shout him down. I wouldn't. But the only thing
I'd say to that, the only thing I'd say to agree with you there, Nick, just quickly, I don't know if this Bailey's watched us for a long time or not. If he would have known I've been Moyes in.
Yeah, look, have a look at this. Have a look at this comment. Look. I'm 37. Don't understand why you all jump on the bandwagon. Stop being shit.
There is no bandwagon,
the club.
Bailey. There is
Honestly,
no bandwagon.
And you got Barney McGrew saying, "Stop shutting him down." No, Barney, I won't.
Yeah, but Barney McGrew likes
what I would say to Barney is, we're not doing this for the sake of it.
No,
if Moyes was, we put up, the last 2 seasons, Moyes was good. There's no doubt about it. He lifted the club up. He got us into top 6, top 7, challenging to the top 4, for the last 2 years. But for the last year or so, the way things are going, and he come with substitutes, some of his selection, like the Souček thing, the Creswell thing.
John McCarthy, Nick, you are fickle. I want Poch. I just don't know whether we're going to get him. I still have Poch. I'm getting fucking attacked tonight.
This is the thing, Gary. Right, Gary, Nick, John, me. Who doesn't want West Ham to win the next 2 games? We all want West Ham to win the next 2 games. We all want to win, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
We just don't think we're going to. That's all.
Yeah, Gary, would you throw if they said to you, for the ball come up to you and said, Gal, look, if we lose to Wolves, Moyes is gone. For the sake of one game for the rest of the season, would you take a loss?
There's no guarantee, though, is there, that the next manager will change?
No,
because it's such a big game. Wolves. I feel certain if we beat Wolves, we will beat Everton. That's the thing, right? So no, and that's why that's why I'm going up to Wolves next week. I'm going up to Wolves to. I want West Ham to win. I want West Ham to win. I can't wish a draw or a loss.
You wouldn't take a draw at Wolves and win against Everton then?
I want him gone. I want him gone. But like Nick said earlier, more than anything, more than him gone, I want us to stay up.
Are you not going to pop up the road to see Eastside and grab his Moyes out flag though when you go down there?
Oh, is he up there? Is he up there?
Yeah.
So what do you honestly think? Do you think the Wolves? Because Wolves we haven't got a great record up there.
No.
I heard someone saying the other day. Dan from West Ham TV kept saying we never win at Wolves. We did. We won there 2 years ago when Lingard was there, beat them 3-2.
That was in front of no crowd. That was an empty stadium.
We beat them 4-0 at home. We beat them last season as well at home. So recent seasons we have done a lot better against Wolves. But I think it's not going to be easy up there because I think Wolves are definitely a slight upturn in their form. I don't think there'll be many goals in it either, Gal. I think it's going to be a 0-0 or 1-0 either way.
Well, they don't score a lot of goals, do they? They don't score a lot of goals.
No.
I don't think they do.
They don't, no.
From memory.
They don't.
Jimenez isn't the threat he was. Jimenez wasn't the threat he was before the injury. So, yeah, I don't know.
I just hope Moyes doesn't play Souček again. Play down or someone else in there alongside Paqueta and Rice,
Yeah. Apparently, according to Steve Brown, Flip Flop that we've been talking about, he's actually a French footballer called Philippe Flop that we're linked with in the transfer window.
Phil Flop.
What if he's a striker? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Could do with one.
Yeah. We're linked with a couple. There was a question further up. I'm not doing transfer talk. I don't know whether you've been following it, Gary or John, who we're linked with.
Yeah, there's a few, isn't there, at the moment? I mean, Wan-Bissaka is still on the radar. I've already mentioned Brereton Diaz. Brereton Diaz for 15 million, overpriced according to Sullivan. Aguerd's teammate Azzedine Ounahi, for those of you that watched Morocco in the World Cup, he was the other good centre half that played next to him. I mean, they were fantastic, those two, right?
Yeah. Well, we do need another centre half, Gal, don't we?
We do. We absolutely do.
Need another centre half because you've got, Dawson wants to go and Zuma's passed. He's not going to play big, so you only got Aguerd there. So we do need another. I know you've got Zuma, but he's injury prone as well, really.
Yeah.
And I think we do need another centre half come in.
Listen, I've been calling it for a couple of months, mate, and people laughed at me before the World Cup. and he's been linked with Villa the last 48 hours. But Harry Maguire, get him in on loan or something. I genuinely believe he'll do well for us.
John, isn't it?
I think there'll be a lot of
He's
takers now.
He's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of takers for him now, you know. But then again, probably only a certain number of clubs who can afford his wages, even for 6 months. There's also another link. Go on.
I would like to get one of these Moroccans. Some of these, you know, in the World Cup, their centre back look very good. A couple of midfield players are superb, and you've got the gear there. Maybe that would be a little bit of a leverage. Get them in. You know, there was 2 or 3 or 4 there in the World Cup who looked very good.
Right. Sorry, Gary, interrupting you again. Bailey, Olive Branch. Come on. We won't talk. I won't talk. Just phone in. Honestly, I would like to hear your take. Yeah. I would. I'd like to hear your take on it. Yeah. Give us a call in.
What's he saying? He's saying we're just anti-Moyes, and that's all we're talking about. Is that what he's saying?
Yes, he's obviously incredibly pro-Moyes, which is fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Listen, I started an argument on Facebook earlier on, right?
Surprising.
Because I've been seeing posts, Gary, on Facebook, and do you know what fucks me off? It ain't disagreements. It ain't you posting something about Moyes and somebody disagreeing with you and debating with you under your thread. It's when people go out and they put a tweet out or they'll put a Facebook post out to say, I can't believe our fans, blah, blah. Basically, doing that. Now, that's sanctimonious shit. I can't take it. And that is what I don't like. Saying things like, oh, you're all on the bandwagon, you're all sheep. That is sanctimonious. That's you saying that you're a different level of fan. You can see something we can't see. You're not respecting my opinion. You're calling me a sheep. So you can't. If you're going to act like that, you can't expect respect back. Is that fair?
If I honestly thought Moyes was, could turn it around and be good going forward, I won't be jumping the bag when I'll be sitting there arguing against you. But I can't. Yeah. Not what I'm seeing with my eyes. I think another thing that he wants to bear in mind, we can't go on forever about what he done 2 years ago. Leicester won the Premier League in 2016 with Ranieri. Next season, they were in free fall and they got rid of him.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yep. And a lot of people forget that. So players that we link with, don't forget, we're going to have help at left back because Masuaku's coming back.
Yes.
They're going to terminate his loan.
Listen, I'm going to ask you something now, honestly. Is Emmett... Because I never minded Arthur. I know he's a calamity. Is he better than prime Masuaku? Or is he Masuaku without the feet? Because Masuaku's got good skills.
I'll tell you this one thing, right? If we switch to 3 at the back and we use Masuaku as a wing back and we have 3 actual centre halves in the middle like we did yesterday and maybe bring another one in, add Zuma to the mix, maybe, right? Maybe with no defensive responsibilities whatsoever and just getting up and down the line, Masuaku would be all right. You know?
Yeah, going forward. Yeah. But same thing, Gal. Same thing when you play Johnson in wing back. You're then not playing a back 3 at all. But Johnson's strength, he's not going forward. I've said to him for weeks, play Johnson at left back. He's a good defender, but he's not great coming forward. So you only play Johnson in a back 4, and he's better than Creswell at left back.
To clarify this, Gary, what was the last manager that I cried about? I didn't want Bilic out. I didn't like Allardyce, but I won't cry for it. I haven't had I haven't had this feeling about a manager since I can't remember. Honestly, I don't like Moyes. I don't like his football.
Does that allude to the fact that Bailey ain't West Ham? As soon as you get Moyes out, you'll be crying about the next manager.
Maybe.
Ooh. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Right.
But you know what? At the moment, we're in a very similar situation to Tottenham. You listen to their fan base, and a lot of their fans, majority of them, don't like the style of football they're playing. But of course, like Gary said a couple of weeks ago, is when you're winning games, and we're the same. When we're winning games with Moyes, you put up with it. But when you don't get results and you're not playing well, then fans are going to get fed up with it. What you're getting out of it. Listen, I think it'd be Nigel Khan the other day. I love Nigel, but he was saying about he just wants to be entertained, but he wants to keep Moyes. Well, Moyes ain't entertaining him.
Trini Hammers just said, and John, you're not a fan of Cornet. Is Cornet an upgrade on Masuaku if you played him in a forward position?
I didn't understand. I didn't understand the big hullabaloo about Cornet when we signed him anyway, if I'm totally honest with you. And I never. I haven't seen enough of him at West Ham to judge him, but if you listen to what Dice said about him when he was at Burnley, Masuaku is a better going forward than defender, isn't he? Masuaku's better.
Masuaku's, yeah. I mean, look, prime Masuaku. He has had good games. He's got good feet. Listen, I know he's a bit of a calamity. I know he is. You don't want him anywhere near. I mean, how he ever ended up a left back, I don't know, because he ain't a fucking defender.
No,
he should never have been a defender.
No.
You know, it'd be like playing Benrahma at left back. You can imagine how that'd go.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I don't know.
The other thing we could do, of course, I wonder if you want to play at back four and you don't fancy Emerson, you don't fancy Criswell, you don't fancy Johnson. If you got Zuma and Dawson fit, could Aguirre play left back?
Yes.
Probably could, yeah. Probably could.
Words and pictures is suggesting that I want Moyes in. Me.
Yeah.
I think Nick fancies Moyes. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I've got accused of being a Duracell just now, so I've adjusted my lighting.
Listen, no one's on the bandwagon. No one's on the bandwagon here, are they? In all truth, we're not.
It's so insulting, honestly.
Gary goes every week. You'll watch the game every week. You can see. You watch what you see.
Gary, I'm going to say something now. This is my assessment. All right, people, we're all entitled to our opinions. We are, you know. But the fact of the matter is now, this is more than an opinion. It's easy for me to say. The only tangible evidence that we've got, based on the tangible evidence that we've got of the last 12 months, we've got good reason to be Moyes out. People that are Moyes in, I think it's nothing more than faith. It's blind faith now, because they think that it's just going to come good. Because there is no evidence in the last year to suggest that it's going to come good. There is no evidence for that, John.
Yeah, but
go on, tell me. Go on.
Let me finish.
I will.
So what was the last bit you said there? There's no what?
There's no tangible evidence from the last year to suggest that Moyes is going to save us.
Okay, but you can't then say that my tipping point, like I said to you the other week, my tipping point was the Palace game.
Yes, but you've tipped.
Yeah, but I still want him to do well, but he ain't gonna, because he won't change. He's stubborn.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
But I haven't jumped on any bandwagon. I've made my own mind up as
exactly. Well, apparently you have. You have jumped on the bandwagon, John.
I would jump on your bandwagon.
You're a sheep. You're a sheep.
The thing is, right, also, even if Moyes wins his next 6 games and keeps us up mid-table and win the Conference League, even if all that, I still don't like the way he treats certain people, and I don't like his favouritism thing he's got, and it's gone on beyond a joke now. That's the one thing I don't like about him. I don't think he's a very good man manager. You know, he's not a very good man manager. I mean, like I said to you, if there's players in there that could be doing a lot better, but he's sort of like holding them back almost.
Yeah,
that's what I don't like about Moyes.
I agree, mate. Right, Gary. What we're going to do? Close on one last point, because I've had you know who been calling in. So Dave's up next. So we'll give him a call back. Let us know what you want to talk about to close this call.
Well, just these next 2 games are just going to determine our whole season. I think, to be honest with you, I know we can all be dramatic sometimes and must win. But these 2 are really hard. It's gonna if we come out with 1 point or nothing, I don't see us staying up. But I think we need to get minimum 4 points. I know you're all saying 6, but I would take a point at Wolves now and 3 against Everton. I still think that would be okay.
That'd be a good. That'd be a good return. Yeah, that'd be a good return.
Wolves is not going to be easy up there. It's not going to be easy away. Wolves are not a bad side now.
But Everton are fighting for their lives as well. I mean, that's the thing. And they're not on paper. They've got good players as well. They're not a terrible team.
But
it's the same as us. It's the same as us.
No, exactly.
Nick, one last thing. Sorry, one last thing. I think we're going to start defensively be tighter now. Not that we've been shipping millions of goals, but we've got Aguirre now, Zuma's back. I think it won't be the problem. It's going to be scoring them. And maybe what's going to be an absolute priority in the transfer window is get another striker in.
Yeah.
Just give us an alternative.
I mean, the thing for me, I said this is why I've been sent emails and messages about why we're not doing transfer shows. And I put a little comment on our thing on YouTube earlier on yesterday, I think it was. And all it is for me, I can't believe, because Moyes' future is up in the air. It will be determined after the next 2 games. He'll either be going or he'll be staying. I don't see that we will be letting any players go, or we won't be seeing any players come in until that is sorted. I don't think, because they'd be mad to act. They would be.
I think if there is something interesting.
What's the date of the Everton game, Gal? What's the date of the Everton game? What date is that?
Don't know.
It's 2 weeks' time, so there'll be about a week of the window left. There'll be about a week of the window left, yeah. But it's enough time.
It's not leaving a lot, is it?
No, but it's enough time.
That's not leaving a lot, is it?
But
Well,
talking
yeah.
about
I mean,
no
I-
transfer shows, if there is some transfer news that looks a bit interesting or something we haven't seen before, then we'll talk about it. We'll do it on daily shows. So
No, all I'm saying, Gal, all I'm
Yeah.
saying is if Skamaka gets injured, for example, then we're down to Antonio again. And he's
Yeah.
not really scoring goals. He works hard. I love Antonio, but he's not scoring goals. We do need something else in there.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
another
we do.
striker in there. You can bring on from the bench and change it.
Trini Hammer's got a good point here. The only thing that gets you out of a relegation battle is effort and hard work. Fancy football can come up. Yeah, and I agree with that. But
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Trini, this is what's been bothering me with David Moyes and Declan Rice's refusal to accept that we're in a relegation battle up to this point, because I've said it so many times now. Surely the first thing that you've got to do is not be arrogant about it and say, no, we're not in a relegation battle. You need to accept you're in a relegation fight if you're gonna win that fight.
Yeah.
And what you've got to do is then you've got to motivate your players to fight. The trouble the issue that I've got with the players that we've bought, do you think they're up for a fight, John? Do you think, like some of these new players, do you think they are the right players for a fight?
You ain't sold the club to players like Skamaka and Paqueta.
No,
You ain't sold
no.
the club to them on the back of, listen, you're going to come in here and we're going to have a relegation battle. So
Yeah.
they're not prepared
No.
for that. I'm not sure if they've ever played in a team that would be in a relegation battle. So it will take them time to adjust to that mindset as well. I think the last couple of games we've seen a little bit of fight from Paqueta, a different style to him. He's doing a lot of tackles and that, and he might have realised what he needs to do.
When they signed, John, both the pair of them, they saw West Ham fighting for top four for the last two seasons. I think that's what they were thinking. We're fighting for the Champions League spot, because it's fair enough. We blew it the last 2 years. Both seasons we could have been Champions League easily.
Yeah.
But we didn't, and that's what. And obviously, I think if you'd have tried to sign them now, in our form within, you would never get them.
No, I completely agree. Right, Gary, we must cut this one off now. We could talk all night, but we've got to get a few other callers on. So thank you very much for the call.
All right, mate. Great show.
Cheers,
Keep
Gary.
going.
Lovely. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Dave, I'll call you back. Otherwise,
Do
I
we
won't
have
be able to get through to him again.
Do we have to?
You don't mean that.
Let's see if he starts with any niceties.
Hello. Oh, look, John's left the building. You've come on and John's gone. Look. He's called you Mr. Happy Bollocks on the screen.
You've come on and John's gone, look.
Dave, can you turn your TV down, please, mate, or your laptop, whatever it is?
Yeah, we've just done it, mate.
Come on, you're a pro. You're a pro at this now. Come on. You're not
Evening,
an amateur.
David.
Evening, Nick. Evening, Gary. Evening,
hello,
Bitch.
Dave.
Evening pitch.
I can't believe that he abused me as soon as I joined the fucking group the other night.
I'll let you off. I apologise. I
What have
apologise.
I ever done?
Yeah. But Dave, what would you like to discuss this evening?
Just to pick up on one of the last 20 points that the previous caller made. One more question. 20 questions later.
Come on.
Talking about signing players and giving this mug some more money to spend. Don't give him a penny. Give him nothing.
I wouldn't give him,
deserve it.
I wouldn't give him any money to spend at the moment. No, I think if he wins the next two, it isn't because I want to give him money. I think we need players. So I do think we need players to come in, but I wouldn't give him a penny until he's proved that he's still going to be here. Otherwise, because you've got to keep some money in reserve as a bit of a carrot to wave at the new manager that comes in. You've got to.
But the problem with that is, Nick, is that the longer you leave it, the closer you are to the end of the window, the more you will be shopping in desperation sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the problem you've got there. I don't think we're going to spend a lot of money anyway. I think we're only going to be getting loans, I reckon. We're only going to be getting loan players, whoever's managing the club.
I'm going to put the number up, people. Just send me a text message if you want me to call you back, and I'll manage it that way. That's all right.
There is a chance that we're being linked with Firmino for 29 million.
What a stupid leak. Do you believe that? I cannot believe
No, I don't
that.
believe it. But imagine the sales of veneers in Essex if he come.
Emily Sanday up front for us.
All
Yeah.
three of us would get these perfect white veneers. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Dave Trevitt would be dancing the Brazilian samba.
It would be. I must admit, look, listen, it'd be nice you'd like to think because we've got Paqueta Would be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The thing is, John, I'm guessing that you took advice before you grew that beard. Who advised you it was a good idea?
Nick's missus.
He said it
suits me.
He's one of his 13 chins hiding underneath it.
Whatever.
Oh, shit.
Whatever.
Right.
I just think they're dicing with death leaving him in. If they're going to get rid of him, I don't know what they're waiting for. Look, I'd love him to succeed and change it around. I don't think he will. The longer we leave it, the less time any new manager's got to get anyone through the door. So that's the problem I've got with it. And it's obvious, It's obvious.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So my main point is all these people on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that shit are saying that, well, if he turns it around, then I'm happy for him to stay. Why? That's my question. Why? Because we're going to... If that happens, the board are probably, if anything, going to give him a new contract. They certainly ain't going to sack him. They ain't sacking him now. So why would they sack him if he's winning? And then we're stuck with this football for God knows how long.
I think it's realism more than anything else, Dave.
Yeah.
I think it's reality. If he wins the next 2 games, he will stay, and I think we all know that. I'm not saying I'm happy about it. I'd rather he was fired now or last week. I do think, however, I don't think there's a new contract on the horizon. I just don't think that, given the choice, they would cut a manager off mid-contract. His contract expires in the summer; he'll be gone. It's toast.
They just ain't made it public knowledge, mate, because they're too frightened to, aren't they?
Yeah. No,
yes.
that's right. Yeah.
I've got a message from one of our previous callers. He's obviously not going to call in, but he's just giving us a point to discuss. So we sort of covered it, but we'll go over it again. It's Matt, one of our previous callers. So he said he didn't see the game, but he did hear that Benny didn't start. Is there an agenda with Benny? Would you call it bullying, or is Moyes just really stupid? The Wolves game does worry me. I saw the Liverpool game, and Lopetegui looks like he has Moyes' number. They were brilliant, and he doesn't waste a sub either. So Dave, did you catch the Wolves game?
What?
We haven't played the Wolves yet, mate.
No. He's talking about the Liverpool Wolves game.
Was that a weakened Liverpool team?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that. I watched the City game, but I didn't watch that one.
But what about the Benny thing then? What's your opinion on Moyes and Benny?
It's definitely a thing with him, isn't it? He's clearly our best player.
Yeah.
People say, Declan Rice. No, bollocks. Declan Rice don't change a game.
Oh, come on, Dave. Dave, you're going to say I'm not being funny. I'm loving Benny this season, but you're telling me that Declan Rice isn't our best player.
I will say this, Dave. But I do believe that Declan Rice, particularly in the position that he's playing in now, I think there's a reason why we've been a little bit more defensively solid as well, and it ain't because of the centre backs that have come back. I think it's Declan Rice sitting in front and shielding. I do think he's important, and I think that without Declan Rice, I don't think we would have had those top 7 finishes at all. Anywhere near it.
Yeah,
I think he's been very key. He has been, for all the valid criticisms of which I think are valid criticisms. John doesn't, but I do. But that's opinions, whatever. You can't deny that he's been probably our most consistently good player for 3 years, probably. I think there is that about him.
Up until this season, I would have agreed with you 100%, and he was my favourite player.
Yeah,
but this season, no.
You don't think so? Well, no. I think Benny's been the best player this year. Benny's been the best player this year.
Rice has had some bad games this season, but people don't want to talk about it.
No, we do talk about it. I mean, we've scored in 4s and 5s in some of our ratings.
We have.
He's been long game.
He's
been
largely good.
As much as I love him, I'll be honest as well. Do you know what I mean? As much as
he's
I love
been largely
him,
good. And if it wasn't for the double tackle yesterday, then Benny that chance wouldn't have popped up for Benny either. So he always puts in good good value performance. Whether he's the right player to be captain, I mean, we'll find that out next season, won't we?
Yeah.
We
certainly.
Yeah, I mean, what John's just put there, that was the actual comment.
Sorry,
so
that's why I put it up. Yeah, because I did mishear you, so I do apologise. Yeah. I know what you mean. Benny's our best flair player.
There's certain things that happen to John. He has these involuntary reactions. If you mention Mark Noble, he starts wobbling his head and throwing his arms about because he worries that you're going to start saying something bad about Noble. Dave, what I'd like to hang on. Hang on. Dave, what's your opinion on Mark Noble in the sporting director role? Do you think he's going to be good for West Ham?
I don't see what he's going to change, to be perfectly honest. When he was a player and a big part player, he could change things, but I don't see what he's going to change in that role. I mean, he's still trainee, isn't he? Yeah. So even if that role allows him to change anything, it ain't going to be for a while, is it?
Yeah.
He did a 5-day course at Harvard.
In the chat, can you stop bitching at each other, please? Come on.
Can I?
Come on.
I think the thing that Noble's going to bring back to the club is the thing that we've all been bemoaning that's been lost somewhat, is the DNA between being a West Ham fan and the West Ham as a team. He's going to be brought in, and it sounds ridiculous. He ain't going to do much more than, you know, be a bit of a go-to man for the lot of players.
Just going to leave that one up there for a little while. I agree with you, Bailey, completely.
If he's able to go into the dressing room and give him a kick up the arse, then I'm all for that.
I think he will, Dave. I think he'll have a little bit of a free role there, to be honest with you, mate.
Do you reckon he's going to have the ability to be able to do that?
Mate, I'm telling you, because Moyes, if
Moyes called him a trainee, John, in his press conference.
Did he?
So what?
He called him a trainee.
He called him a trainee. He called him a trainee. But he called him a trainee. Honestly, yeah. Mark's coming in. He's going to be a trainee. So I'm not going to listen to anything he fucking says, am I?
No, but
yeah.
That's brilliant. That is superb.
Proper life people down. People say that he seems like a really nice guy. Moyes, this is. I don't even think he's that.
I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
Why is Hammerhead? Why is it stupid for Noble to be in the dressing room? Why would that be stupid? I don't understand.
Because for him to move on and become sporting director and become a senior person within that squad, he needs to not be a player, John. He's not a coach. If he was going to be John, so what you're saying is a sporting director, but really what he is, he's a little mascot they're putting in the changing room to cheer everyone up and play tricks.
Listen, you used to laugh. You lauged at Noble for about the last 2 years of his career.
He's going to wear an outfit. He's a new Hammerhead. He's going to come in and start playing. Yeah, I know.
Well, flip-flop blues in it.
Bailey. Who's this Bailey guy? Why is he starting on me now? Why is he not starting on Gary? Why has he come to me?
The thing is, right, you can tell Bailey has never watched his show before, because I will say John's probably the least toxic person that I know in terms of West Ham.
Get attacked by the toxiters.
Yeah, well, that just goes to show you they're so paranoid. These people.
And look, me and Eastside didn't get on 6 months ago. Now look at the love.
They love each other now. Look.
Yeah, they love each other.
He's taking me out. So
he's still in Dubai. He's been out there for about fucking month.
Where is he? Dubai.
Dubai.
Where's that?
Dubai. You know what I mean?
Well, he must have a good job.
Right.
I think he would have been better suited, probably as a coach, as opposed to a sporting director, personally.
I must admit, if this is the case, it will be quite amusing. It's going to be funny when the trainee sacks the manager. Yeah. Because I'm telling you now, Mark Noble is obviously ambitious. I don't think he would have liked that. I don't think he would have liked that, because he needs to be commanding respect. You know, if you're going in there at a senior role, even though he's learning on the job, that's going to have to come with, because he was a player. Would you agree with this, Gary? He was a player. If you're going to become senior, you do have to all of a sudden distance yourself from that, don't you?
You've got to, yeah, absolutely, and that's why some coaches
run away.
Sorry, Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Do you think, in the near future, Noble's likely to run a raffle for charity, and the winner gets to sack Moyes?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. But anyway, Dave, what I'm going to do, mate, we're going to close this call because I've got John McFadden, or John McCarthy, to call back. He wants to talk about the shares and the squad and the sale and how that's been impacted and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that. But is there one last point you want to close on before we go?
Yeah, just the flip-flop. I look forward to you bitching in the group.
Cheers, Dave.
I'm going to leave
Cheers,
the group.
Dave.
If he's in that group, I'm leaving.
Thanks very much, mate.
You promise? See you later.
Cheers, Dave.
Good night, Dave. Take care, mate.
Right, let's give. It's quite a good topic, actually. I mean, it's not the sort of thing you did want to discuss straight away, even though we kind of did the other
No,
day.
it's worth
didn't we?
talking about.
yeah.
I did some reading about this earlier, so worth talking
What's
about.
that? What's that? What the?
The share situation
Oh,
now that David Gold has left the building.
And I've got that. So,
Hello, John. You right, mate?
but is there what?
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Let's try him again.
he was having a bit of
Feedback.
feedback there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he's listening to us, and he's listening to the show, isn't he?
Yeah. that's what I mean.
Sorry, I'm with you there. Is there one block?
That's all right, mate.
You want to close it?
Could you turn the show down, please, mate? If that's all right.
I just that's what I was doing. I pressed the wrong button.
No worries.
Amateur. Amateur.
Turn the volume down.
But anyway,
Well,
what would you like to talk about, young man?
well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on causing absolute carnage this afternoon.
That's what I do. It's what I do.
That was the funniest. I had to keep going back to it and read the next bit. Oh, he's going to get killed.
I just get bored, and I like to drop the odd bomb every now and then just to pass the time.
Where was that on Facebook?
Yeah, Overland and Sea on that one. Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah,
You've been cranked. You've been stirring, Nick. What have you been doing?
yeah. I had me wooden spoon out.
It was. You had to go back and read it. I swear, there was a woman on there. I swear to God, and I thought, oh my God, he started on a woman.
I didn't start on her. I just answered her question.
He's got no class.
I didn't start on her. But I believe in equal opportunities and everything else. You know, I'll treat everyone the same.
I know. I enjoyed it, mate. That made the afternoon. That really did. That was really good.
Good stuff.
And I've got popcorn here because these phonies. This is better than TalkSport. I swear to God, much better than TalkSport.
TalkSport was swearing. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. But what you mentioned that you wanted to talk about the potential sale of the club,
Right?
and has that been affected by David Gold passing away?
Yeah, David Gold's passed away. God rest his soul. We all know that.
Yeah.
His shares now have been split in half. Well, he's 25% now. The two daughters get 12.5% each.
Yeah.
Right? Now, one of them girls' husbands is on the board.
Yes.
He's a hammer, proper hammer. There's no way on earth he's going to sell them shares.
No,
In my opinion.
he is the Gold representative, the Gold family representative on the board, and has been for a while now. So this is not a new thing. The only thing that's new is that the 12.5% shares have gone to Vanessa and Jacqueline Gold. Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, we were all under the impression that Goldie was going to sell up to Krasinski.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krasinski didn't increase his share, but I can't see that happening now.
Well,
I really can't.
I'll tell you what. I was reading about this today, and they were saying, Sullivan's got 38%, I think, and so he would need 13% to get a majority shareholding. And they're saying that in essence, the article was saying, if they decide to sell the shares, Krasinski might be in a competition with Sullivan, but I don't think that's the case, because Krasinski already has the agreement that he can buy shares at a pre-agreed number, right? That's what the agreement was all about. So I think if he wants to buy them when they come to sell, and I think they will come to sell at some point, maybe in the summer, he will have first refusal. I just don't think he'll take that option. I don't think he will. I think he's simply a shareholder who wants to make a fast buck in, buying some shares and then moving them on further down the line.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, there is apparently, or there is I've heard rumours that there's a mystery buyer. That's kind of what I've heard. And we've done shows on who that is. Or there's a couple. Apparently, there's been 2 or 3 people that have been lined up and involved in this deal that they've been waiting for this embarrassment clause to expire.
Yeah.
But obviously Liverpool and Man United going up for sale. That's kind of it's wider the net, isn't it? You know, if you are looking for a Premier League club, albeit it would be a damn sight cheaper than those two.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're talking 600 million versus, what are
Billions.
Man United now? Man United have got to be
6 billion, they reckon.
6 billion, and Liverpool
6 billion, yeah.
probably about 4 billion, right? So
Yeah.
So it's a different. People who be going after Man United and Liverpool are shopping in a different market to the ones that are going after West Ham.
Yeah. Well, I think if you look at it from a business perspective, we're probably more attractive because of how cheap you can pick us up for. You know, it's not rocket science, is it? You can probably earn more buying a club like West Ham and turning them around, or turning them into
But you think about it, John. You buy us for 600 million, right? You could drop $1 billion. You could drop $1 billion on the squad, like what Man City did. You could drop $1 billion on our facilities. You still ain't spent $3 billion. You still.
I like to think
you quid's in.
I like to think that what we did last year, what we did last year in Europe, and we genuinely, for a time last year, we started getting respect from the bigger clubs, right? Yeah. They started to look at us and take us seriously. Yeah. And I think last year possibly put West Ham in the shop window, to a great relish extent. We looked, a couple of those European nights, even the London Stadium, it looked like the real deal. It really did.
Yeah. No. We did change our sort of perception from outside, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I can't get a sale now. I really can't.
No.
Sully says he doesn't want to sell. Yeah. Now now David Gold's shares have gone to the family, and there's already a member on the board. I can't see a sale.
I think Gold would have sold his shares, but I could have imagined that David Gold would have probably remained on the board. I think he would have probably negotiated himself a place to stay on the board.
I think you're absolutely right, and there's Terry Brown's still involved in on the board as well, and various others throughout the years have a very, very tiny shareholding. How
much say does David Gold have in things now? It's all Sullivan, isn't it?
Sullivan's
before
got 38%, and Gold's got 25%.
I know, John. I know. Sorry, everyone.
Kretinsky's got the rest. But yeah, look, I think Sullivan will sell. That's just what I believe. And I think there are a lot of people who are coming around to that way of thinking now, because there have been some messaging coming out of the club lately that would kind of allude to the fact that, all right, we're not in a hurry to sell, but if the right offer came along, we might consider it. And that's a different narrative to what's been plugged over the last couple of years, when it was absolutely not. Right, and it just so happens that embarrassment clause ends in April. So these are the little clues that people are putting together, Matt, and coming up with, putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 6.
Exactly. So this is from John Layton. He owns Prague, and if he buys more shares than 27%, he has to either buy us or Prague. Can't play in Europe because he'd have like.
Well, he's got. You can't have the controlling stake in 2 clubs that could face each other in European competition.
He's already said, but if push comes to shove, he's going with Prague, not West Ham.
I think he would. Yeah, I think he would. Right. Who knows? But I think we are simply an investment, and I think that investment, you look how much West Ham grew over one season. If we could have a couple of seasons of that, listen. There's no limit to West Ham. It could be a big club. It really, genuinely could be a big club. But it needs the right owners to be able to do it, and we haven't got owners with that kind of ambition. Albeit we did have a little flavour of it last season, didn't we?
They have made a fat return. Even Kretinsky bought into the club. I think he got
a huge packet, didn't they? So Karen Brady got over $1 million. Was it 1.21 million she got?
Yeah, for introducing Kretinsky. Yeah.
Oh God, finder's fee.
Gary, is someone close to you, Bailey, mate? Because
Gary is very balanced.
Very well balanced.
Yeah.
Well, he's Moyes out though, Bailey.
I'm Moyes out.
Then you've got Gary.
Gary, put forward a very sort of a considered argument as to why David Moyes should be out. In your opinion, convince Bailey why David Moyes should be out. Why he should be gone. Go on.
Well, here's a considered argument. He's got 1 point in the last 18. Any other manager would have been fired.
Keep the faith, though, Gary.
Not Frank Lampard, though.
Has he got 1 in 18?
He ain't far off it, is he?
Yeah.
Trini Hammerson, whole Jim Ratcliffe thing. No, it wasn't rubbish. He was definitely involved. He still is involved, but he did try to. He's tried to buy Man United before, and now they're for sale. And he's a very rich man, so I don't think he would be put off by $6 billion. So he's an incredibly rich man. But like I say, it doesn't mean he's getting.
The one that I reckon, and I've said it all along, is the Qataris will come in. They own half the bloody London Stadium, the Olympics arena. Yeah, they own all that land already.
Yeah.
They're going to come in and buy us.
And I think if that happens, Matt, it'll be a land deal, and I think they will basically knock the London Stadium down and build a purpose-built stadium elsewhere, and we would all love that anyway.
I won't mind that.
So that's fine. Because you imagine you take that stadium out of the mix, plus all of the infrastructure, roads, tunnels, and everything around it, pathways and all that. Imagine how much prime real estate you've got over there. It's huge, isn't it?
It's massive.
Yeah.
And then Tottenham can really hate us because we'll have human rights issues and everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as we get, when a new stadium comes, as long as we can go a couple of thousand more than Tottenham, that's all I care about.
Their stadium will always be shaped like a toilet, though.
It is shaped like a toilet. You're right.
Yeah,
it's
it's a high-end toilet, though, isn't it? It's like one of those Japanese toilets, isn't it? It's got all the bells and whistles.
It's got a cheese room. I mean, come on.
That's Ponzi, isn't it? We've got our own brewery.
Who wants a cheese room?
Bottom filling pints that take the same time to fucking fill as what a normal pint does.
They do, They
They take the same amount of time.
I know. They're pointless.
I know. I agree.
And I have another thing to say to you. You saw the draw, didn't you, this afternoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Derby, yeah.
County Derby.
So we drew a team that hasn't lost a game in all competitions in 16.
Yeah, they ain't played West Ham yet, though, have they,
They ain't played us yet, though, have they, mate?
Why has he got to come on and dampen their spirits? Why?
We're massive.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right. By then, we'll be flying. We'll be flying by then. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I'd love to go up to that game, actually.
I'd love to go there. I'd love to go Derby. You never get
Moyes was asked about that, and apparently this is what he said.
That's what I do. I win.
It's just his answer for everything. Whenever he's asked any questions, that's it. Even after he'd relegated Sunderland on 24 points, 16 points away from safety, came into us.
Yeah, but you've got a bit of the information wrong about David Moyes and the Sunderland thing, but.
Can I say that about what's going on in this chat, right?
Go on.
I don't see how people can't see it. I mean, Gary said it there earlier on, right? Okay. We haven't been good for a year. The last team we beat was bloody Norwich.
Yeah. Listen, I can understand still being Moyes in and you still liking him and you still wanting him to stay. What I can't understanding is arguing against and basically calling people stupid that want him out. That I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me.
Because all we're doing is looking at the evidence and making our mind up based on the evidence. I mean, it's not hard, is it?
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, John, what would you like to close on, mate?
I haven't thought of that. John, leave your ears alone, will you?
I'm like a dog. John, question for you. Go on.
Hey,
I just wanted to, the thing. All I want to close in is this. Moyes, he's going to get another 3 games, I reckon, and I reckon that's too late.
Yeah, I don't know about 3, John. I do think Nick's right. I think a draw will be one of those sort of grey areas. I think he might keep his job, but if he loses at Wolves, I think that could be all over.
That's him gone.
I genuinely think if it was going to happen, I think they would have done it already.
I think there's something in the 19-game thing, John.
I also think that because we're not cut adrift, because it is so close, that's doing him a favour in their eyes as well.
You don't think they'll look ahead to Chelsea, Newcastle, Spurs.
Mate, well, I just don't see him as that proactive, Nick. I don't think they're
proactive. But that's not proactive, is it? That's suicide. If you lose those two games and then allow him to go further against those 3 teams, it's suicidal.
Well, if he does an Avram Grant, if he does an Avram Grant and sacks him straight after the game and don't let him back on the bus, then he'll have to come home with me, Moisey, won't he?
Yeah, would you give him a lift back?
I'll give him a lift back, yeah.
You would.
For old time's sake. What's that?
Gary, there is this also that if they are going to sell, if they decided we don't know, okay, they'd only be wasting money, wouldn't they? If they sack him, they'd have to pay him off, or get a new manager in, pay him, and then he's going to want another squad. Because he won't like the one he's got.
This is why they don't want to sack him, but they do want to sack him, right? They do want to sack him because if the club are getting relegated, then that's a big disaster, massive. They don't want to sack him because if they do that, they'll have to pay a big contract out for a new manager as well as pay him off. So it's what becomes more desperate the quickest, you know.
But I suppose what you got to look at, right? I mean, we're talking about paying Moyes off. What would it be? What, 8 million, something like that? You're talking about a manager that he's a depreciator of players. He's done it since he's been here. We lose money hand over fist for players that he brings in, you know, and some existing players as well. And the fact of the matter is, it's going to be a damn sight cheaper if it looks like we're going to get relegated to shift him out the door and pay someone else to come in and try and save us than it would be to just stick with it.
I wonder how true that is, that Hammerhead's written there.
What's that?
For 50 mil to sack Moyes and hire a new manager. I don't think it is that much. I think his contract's up in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, no, next year. He's got another year after this.
He's got another year.
Yeah. Maybe Hammerhead's suggesting like buying some new players for the new manager and things like that. I don't know.
Possibly.
Maybe that sort
of but then again, you've got to look. But this. Hang on, John. But this is to labour on that point. Well, the other thing that we've got to do as well, a lot better. We've done this in the past, haven't we? Do you know when we've had a manager, it ain't worked, and then they'll go out and they'll get a completely different style manager, which I want this time. Yeah. But we do have a different style squad now. They've got to lean on someone like Newman, like Noble, like anyone who's got the expertise, and say, find me a manager that could work with this group of players.
Yeah, 100%, mate. But
you know.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to get if they go with anyone. I think this is interesting. This is a bit of an interesting point from Victor.
We're in the bottom three. Do you want the job? They're going to say no.
Yeah.
It's not very appealing from that aspect, no. But it's appealing in so much as you can look at the quality of squad that we've got on paper, and it is fairly appealing. So that's the plus side of it. But in the predicament we're in,
John, because. John, what invariably happens with loads of clubs, as soon as you get relegated, all the players want to leave.
Yeah. There is that, but I think going back to what John says, I think most managers, you've got to be confident and full of and in your own ability. You've got to be a confident person. Most managers, I believe, would look at that group of players and they would look at the teams that were down, and they would look at the fact that we're in a European competition. You could come in and be an instant hero. They would look at that and probably go, "Yeah, I can get them out of that." You know, that's what I think. If you do believe in yourself, why wouldn't you? You know, we've got a good group of players.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's something said there as well from Mickey Smith about the Kretinsky fixed rate is only for a year, so at the end of the season he doesn't get that pre-agreed price for the shares. I didn't know
that's
that.
Interesting. Really? That's interesting. But maybe it was almost maybe they was thinking it's almost a done deal though, because obviously the embarrassment clause is up before the end of the season, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah.
You know, it's in March. It's the end of March. So
I mean, go on.
You had a question, John, didn't you?
I forgot it now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Listen, if there is a plan to do something after the embarrassment clause, nobody is going to know about it apart from the people involved, because. If they were to leak it out that this was a pre-agreed plan, I'm sure there'd be an avenue for the stadium owners to sue the board to try and get that money back, right?
Yeah.
So it will be top secret. Nobody will say a bloody word to anyone.
Bailey, this is nonsense. That's a higher win percentage than what it was when Nigel calculated it at the end of last season. So you're making numbers up there, mate, to be quite honest. You know, 40%. He's won 40% of his games in the Premier League.
Oh no, he did. He did. Trevor Brooking. He did.
No, he's talking about Moyes.
Oh no. So forget
Moyes
that.
now has the best win percentage of any manager in the Premier League.
He's about 28. It's about 28 now.
Yeah.
It's not 40. I'd bring Trevor Brooking back even now, even though he's about 86 years old. I'd bring Trevor Brooking back and slap him in charge of the team. I think he'd still do a good job.
Yeah. I know.
You know what? Talk Brooking, right? Okay. I reckon that Noble needs to look at what Brooking did, right?
Yeah.
Brooking done a bit of managing, right? Okay. Then he became an ambassador for the club, right? Okay. He's still involved. He's upstairs. Okay, you only see him sitting in the terraces now.
No,
He's
that's
a
right.
great example for no.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's one down from God as far as West Ham fans are concerned, right? And you know, we forget his little his little cozying up around the bond scheme. We'll forgive him that one. Everyone's allowed a mistake, but that aside, he was fantastic. He was fantastic when he was a manager for a little while. I mean, those players just played for him immediately, didn't they?
Yeah. So Hammerhead on his 50 million thing. Andy Armit, you have to pay his contract up in full, and all the backroom staff, it would cost close to 50 million. Yeah, because he signed that extension, didn't he? Which I did forget about, if I'm honest. But yeah. Signed the extension after one winning.
So what's he getting paid a year then, Moyes? So I mean,
4
we can
million.
work for 4 million a year. So so it'll only cost 6 million to pay him off, and then you've got his backroom staff. So say that's another 4 million. So say 10 million to pay off Moyes and get rid of him. You don't actually just pay off a manager in one hit. You carry on paying their monthly salary until they get employment elsewhere. So it ain't like a big hit, right? So it's not going to cost 50 million, but it might cost 50 million if you've got to go and buy another manager out of a contract, which we won't do anyway.
Hang on a minute. Moyes getting another job after West Ham.
I'll tell you, I don't think he'll ever get
He'll
ever get another top job again. I don't think he will, because if you look at what he did at Sunderland, there's no guarantees. I know. Look, it fucks me off when people say he saved us. He didn't save us. He came in and he got one more. No, he didn't, John. He came in 19 points in 19 games. We was in 17th place, right? All he got was 20 points in the next 19. 1 point more, and we survived on less than 40 points. Yeah, but it weren't a miraculous saviour. He had a good squad. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, after Sunderland, I don't think that even a team that were shit, like Bournemouth, wouldn't go and get Moyes to save them, because I don't think there's any guarantees that he could do that. You know, I just don't think he's that type of person. Someone else.
That type of person, what?
I think he's proved with what he did at Sunderland that he's not like Sam Allardyce that can just keep on. You're not guaranteed saviour if you bring Moyes in. Right, Michael Levy Jr., what do we all think of Warburton's inclusion in the coaching staff? Has that caused a disruption? And do you boys think that we would have Warburton in caretaker charge when Moyes goes, at least in played downs? It's a good point. And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. It isn't something that I want to see happen. I've got to be honest. But
I'm sorry. There's something about Warburton I don't trust.
No, I
when
agree.
He came in,
well, he's a Spurs fan as well.
Things like that. People are saying it's because Psycho left and Irvine left. Yeah. And him coming in at the same sort of time, I don't know. I put it on Warburton. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'll tell you what scared the bejesus out of me.
We was shit before Warburton came in.
I heard one of your callers. I think it was Scott, wasn't it, Nick, who called in and spoke about Warburton, and that just made me go completely cold on the idea. No, we can't have Warburton. He's not a fit.
He was a Spurs fan, wasn't he? Spurs fan, isn't he? Spurs fan or something?
He's a Spurs fan, yeah. But that aside, being a Spurs fan aside, he's too small time to come in and take over a Premier League club. I mean, he's literally, what's he got on his CV? Managed Rangers in their equivalent of Scottish Championship, right? Yeah. Failed at Forest, failed at QPR. Rangers. Yeah, failed at Brentford, or did all right at Brentford for a couple of weeks, and then, or a couple of months, and then got fired. He's never managed a club in a top division. He hasn't.
Nah, it wouldn't fill you with excitement, would it? Put it that way.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. But anyway, John, we're gonna let you go, mate. Gonna love you and leave you. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, cheers, John.
No, you're legend. I really love these shows. You make my Sundays. You really do.
Thank you very much, mate. We'll be back doing regular Sunday shows again now. Well, I think it's going to start leveling out again, isn't it? We'll be back in Europe soon. It'll be Thursday, Sundays again.
It will be.
So,
Super conference.
That's it. But anyway, cheers for that. Cheers for that, mate.
Look after yourself, lads. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
See you later.
Right, Iron's analysis has apparently said I've got to check it. I can't see how we can have a 37.1% win ratio. I don't see how that can. I don't see how that can be accurate. I I don't. We're going to have a little look at it. But your name is Irons Analysis, so I probably will have to trust
He
what
might
you're
have
saying.
it across both stints. He hasn't got it in this stint.
Yeah.
This stint is lower. It's about 28%.
It's lower than that. This
It's really.
you mean his stint? Yeah.
This stint is all that matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, have you got anything else that you would like to discuss, gentlemen?
Yeah, just quickly. I've just pulled up some stats. Actually, I think it looks like in this stint it's 28.5% win percentage, and in the last stint it's 38.1%.
Yeah, he did better the first time around. Yeah,
so it's over half a season, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Getting back to Moyes on the Sunderland thing, I think I spoke about it before because I found just the he did give back. He did walk away on Sunderland, and he basically could have took £3 million and he never. So that's one thing they do like about him.
Yeah. That's right. But I mean, how
could have sat on. How
could you take compensation after what he'd done to him?
Well, a lot of managers do, mate. I bet Mourinho. I bet Mourinho does. I bet Mourinho does. I bet Mourinho does.
Yeah,
we know he does.
I think the only other thing to mention is the FA Cup draw away to Derby. I think that's a good draw. Do you reckon?
I think so. Look. At the end of the day, I know they're on a good run, but if we're a Premier League team, we've got good players. If we play well, we should beat them, but that isn't always the case.
Well, just want to avoid being away to one of the big six, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But then again, there has been some shocks in the FA Cup so far, and I think half a dozen Premier League teams have fallen away already. It'd be lovely if Arsenal win that. It'd be lovely if Arsenal went out to Oxford. I can't see it though, but So look, you got to be in it to win it, and I was happy with the draw until Jonathan just phoned up and said they're unbeaten in 16. So
that's all right.
Yes.
Records are made to be broken. Stevenage beat Villa.
Yeah, they beat Villa 2-1. They was 1-0 down. They was 1-0 down, and they scored in the 89th and in injury time. I think Villa had a man sent off late on, and they scored 2 injury time goals to win it. Stevenage, League 2.
Well, that's the thing that can happen. I mean, we've had a few shocks, haven't we? There's no guarantees in these cup competitions.
That's why I love it. That's why I love FA Cup third round. It's all when it gets exciting for me. So
I mean, it literally is. I mean, the Premier League team, they're on a hide into nothing because they're expected to win, and you know, it's a cup final, isn't it? So if you're coming up against Sutton United, you know, it's the biggest day of their lives, isn't it?
Exactly, exactly that. So no, we'd be all right. I think we could have a little cup run, but is the league more important? Probably.
Oh, big time. But I think if you're winning, it doesn't matter whether it's cups or whatever. Winning's a habit, isn't it?
It is. It is. And we haven't had a habit of it for a long time, have we?
No.
But we haven't won anything for a long time.
We will feel. I will feel an awful lot better. I will. If we beat Wolves, I'll feel an awful lot better. And I've said this already, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, if they haven't got rid of Moyes up to this point, and we win those next 2 games, it's a moot point. We'll shelve Moyes until the summer. We'll stop talking about it because there's just no point at that. You know, it's then nothing's going to change. It's going to be too late. So, and also, if it does look like he can get enough points for him, we can start building momentum, and we can get away from this situation. Then look, just leave it till the summer. This season is a bit of a busted flush in the league anyway. We just want to survive, you know,
and enjoy a good cup run in the FA Cup and the Euro, the Conference League.
Yeah, hopefully. That's it. But anyway, Gary, do you wanna close up?
Yeah, no, brilliant. Thanks to everyone for your comments. Been a good show actually. Been a good little chat. And nice and upbeat today. Nice and upbeat. But it could go either way next week, couldn't it? Against Wolves, could be either way.
It's horrible. I mean, we're in purgatory. I wish the Wolves game had been this weekend, if I'm honest. But I just want it over and done with. We want to know either way, don't we? What's happening?
Yeah, we do, and that's the thing. Yeah, we're never land at the moment, so it could get very exciting this week. We'll be doing a few rambles, a few solo efforts during the week up until next weekend, and that's it. Until next time, see you soon. Thanks for watching, and come on, you Irons!
Come on, you Irons!